Internet. This weekend has been interesting for me. I've basically been asleep for 48 hours. I have been horribly sick. After I did my Xenogears stream, I pretty much immediately developed a very mild cough, and I tried to go to bed just thinking, it must be dust in the air, allergies or something. And it takes me a while to go to sleep, usually an hour or two, because I'm always very in my head about everything because I'm worried about literally everything all the time. And I noticed about 2 hours later, I was shivering unbelievably badly and uncontrollably. I then proceeded to vomit several times, and well, that's basically been my entire weekend. I've spent it basically in just a sick coma and being horribly ill. I'm starting to get better. I'm thinking it was either some kind of food poisoning or like some sort of incredibly rapid flu or something. But if it was food poisoning, it shouldn't have affected respiratory because that's not how food poisoning works. I don't know. But either way, I'm feeling terrible right now, but I'm getting better. I still have a bit of a cough and stuff, but if I'm low energy, just don't talk too much. That's sort of why I'm just sort of recovering from the plague right now. But I had a few Genesis games we could play, and I can't really sleep anymore, so I figured why not? Let's do some stuff. So this is the Flintstones on the Genesis, and here's something you got to understand about me is I'm not a gambling person. Like I am wildly unlucky. I've been struck by lightning twice for crying out loud. I have zero luck in my life. But I remember going to my custom game rental store when I was a kid, and I only ever got to go there once or twice a year. So what I picked out there was always something special. And I remember at one point I rented a Flintstones game, and I always wanted to play it again. The problem is there's kind of a lot of them. It was a big property, you know? And honestly, there a lot of them are really hard to find, especially the NES ones. I don't think it was an NES one because I've never owned an NES. I'm not sure how I would have played it, but I rented a Flintstones game when I was a kid. I've spent a long time trying to figure out which one, and all I really remember is like the first level. Fred was looking for Wilma's necklace, and that's all I remember. So I took a stab in the dark and bought the Genesis one because I'm working on my Genesis collection. I'm hoping this is the one. Let's find out. I know this game's pretty hard to find as well. Have you seen my... Oh my god, this is literally the game I played as a kid. I had no idea. I just picked one that I kind of could afford and took a stab. Oh, I'm so glad this... It wasn't one of the NES ones that are like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Although I think I have them on multi-carts. Yeah, so I guess this is the Flintstones game I played as a kid. This reminds me a lot of the mechanics of the NES ones, though. I'm guessing it's based on kind of the similar stuff, what with this being Taito, I imagine. I think Taito worked on the NES ones as well, so I'm guessing this is probably based on the same mechanics and probably same engine. But, yeah, I just took a guess. I think there's one or two on the Super Nintendo. It really could have been either or, and it's like, well, I'm working on my Genesis collection. Let's take a stab in the dark. Hopefully I'll get the one I wanted. And yeah, I guess I did, which is exciting because I've never beaten this game. I remember it being unbelievably hard. So, I don't know how far we'll get in this. I do have a few other Genesis games we can do, but again, really, this is just... I've got some time to kill and I'm not feeling well, so why not? Okay. I don't remember ever beating the first level of this game. I just remember Fred needing to get Wilma's necklace and enjoying this game. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, this game is definitely arcade hard, it looks like. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll be okay. We'll get through this. I took a COVID test just to make sure it wasn't that, and it didn't seem to be. It came up negative, so unless it needs to be in your system for X period of time before it pops up as positive, I don't think that's what it was. So that's good. Like I said, I just think it's some kind of weird, really rapid hitting flu that ate my entire weekend, really. Which kind of sucks. I had things I wanted to do this weekend. I wanted to watch UKSG, and unfortunately that's over and I got to watch none of it. But there'll be VODs of it, I'm sure. Watching it live would have been nice. What's this? Oh, I get a pterodactyl. I genuinely remember none of this from this game. But yeah, I guess this is the game I had as a kid, so that's cool. Oh! Okay, what do we have over here? Yeah! I know one of the Super Nintendo Flintstones games was based on the movie starring John Goodman. And can I just say, I don't think we ever needed a live-action Flintstone movie, but if we had to have one, I can't imagine an actor who would be better suited to playing Fred than John Goodman. Like, that just seems like pitch-perfect casting to me. I don't even remember those movies, honestly. Like, I swear I've seen them, but I'm more familiar with the cartoon than anything. Which makes sense, that's the root of their properties. But, I remember here in Canada, like, they'd play that, and then they'd play the Jetsons following it up. Oh, am I supposed to wait for you to... Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so you probably can't kill that thing. This is a very varied starting stage with a lot of stuff going on with it. I kind of appreciate that. It also seems to be very difficult. This game is not pulling its punches. Okay, and I'm guessing those... Yeah, they retract if you stand still long enough, so you gotta hurry. Okay. Okay. Whoa. I don't know where I'm going. Okay, we're going here. Okay, so the screen scroll is rather aggressive. It's worth knowing that. Now we get to Bokenjima this with a pterodactyl. Okay, that dinosaur is riding an egg beater for some reason. Which is cute, I guess. I'm not sure I understand the why of it, but it's cute. Kind of dig it. I'm very impressed with the animations and stuff from this. This seems like a really good game. I'm glad I've got this, like, not just for the nostalgia of it. There was quite a lot of games I got that I played from that specialty rental store that I just didn't know what they were. Like Illusion of Gaia. That's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. I rented it there, but I could not remember what it was called. It wasn't until I was in high school that I figured it out, and I immediately headed to eBay and bought it for $1 because, you know, you used to be able to get games super cheap. I missed that time. Aw. Yabba dabba doo, trademark. Okay, that's a little distracting. What's up, Barney, old pal? You lost your fishing hook. No, this I remember too. I don't think I beat this level, though. I think it's a water stage. Alright, Barn, we'll help you out. I don't think I've seen the Flintstones since I was like 10. But I remember spending a lot of time watching those. Oh, I kind of like that background. This reminds me of Wagyan a little bit. There were some really good underwater stages in Wagyan. Oh man, now I want to play Wagyan. Maybe for Halloween. It's an edutainment game. That's pretty spooky. I actually have planned out my Halloween game. I think I'm going to do Jimmy. Like, I wanted to do Overblood 2, but I don't have a copy, and I was going to buy a copy. But I got some really bad news recently that my only other source of income might be going away. For a lot of really bad reasons, and I'm not sure I'll be able to get another one anytime soon, so I gotta be really careful with how I spend my money. Because I already don't make a lot of money with 2 sources of income, so... Unfortunately, I don't get to do Overblood, but we can do Jimmy, and I'm excited about Jimmy, because I like Jimmy. That's, still one of the best games I've played this year, and it's kind of spooky. Also, I've got a couple other Steam, like, early access games I kind of want to show off that are kind of vaguely horror-themed, but not so horror that I can't deal with them. It's kind of just spooky enough that I can deal with it. And 2 of them I've already played a fair bit of, and I quite like them, so that'll be fun to show off. It's nice that they've got sort of a light gradient as you descend. I remember Restart on the Genesis doing that as well. That's a Genesis game I'd like to get sometime soon. Restart, that was a cool game. I would kind of place that like right up there with Dynamite Heady. Like, it's not one of the most well-known games. It's not the best game, but there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, Sides of Spikes are death, but I didn't have really a choice but to hit that. It's nice we get to maintain our health buffs, at least. I think we lost one of them, but still. I like the music here. It's very, very chill. I might have to use the soundtrack from this game for something. Let's go. Gotta be careful. That life did not respawn. That's worth knowing. So we can't just cheese lives like you could for most games. Turrican did that as well, from what I remember when we played that a few weeks back. Whoa! Okay, we gotta be a little careful around here for random alligators. Because suddenly alligator. Yeah, I'm really liking the music in this. They really hit the presentation for this game out of the park. Come on, give me some good apple. Well, that was a lateral move. I took that damage to get that. Bop. Look at these little octopods. Spinning little fans to push you away. That's cute. Oh no. Lava! I'm betting this is going to be real bad for us. Run! Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god! Okay, that was close. Alright, I'm thinking these are checkpoints like Bokenjima. I'm seeing some Bokenjima-isms in this game. Although it's nowhere near as stupidly, brutally hard as Bokenjima ever was. Ooh, we got a heart container. I want that. Power up. I'm not really sure what that actually entails. Oh. Okay, so there's a charge attack. I'm not really sure how different that actually is versus your standard attack, but okay. If I get bored of this, I've got one or two other Genesis games we can do as well. But this seems pretty fun. Difficult, certainly, but... Man, not just for the nostalgia, I'm glad I've got this. I don't think these things will hurt me. But they'll push me, oh crap! And I can't control my lateral movement, really. I don't think. How do I go down? No, you kind of can't. So you really don't want to get stuck on these fish. Okay, okay, we gotta regroup. Oh god. Okay, I think the plan is stay as low as possible. Oh god, this is scary. I'm kind of impressed with how varied the levels have been. Like, each individual level has quite a lot of concepts going on for it. Grab that heart and go, go, go! Again, bit of a lateral move. Okay, so Wilma is presumably invulnerability. Star is useless to me right now. I don't know which one of these tracks I need to go through. Ah, but we can get past the scroll now. Please be something good in this balloon. Heart container. Which only gave me a heart and I need to scratch my nose. Okay. Okay, bop. I wanted to know what's in that balloon, but at the same time, I did want to see what's down there. Okay, so we got a heart. That's good. Bop. It's a little late on that. Bop. Okay. Alright, stage 2. Let's go. Yeah, it seems to take away one of your heart containers when you die. But it doesn't take away all of them, which is nice, because I think you started with, like, 3. Okay, we almost, Well, that was a lateral move, to say the least. I wanted that invulnerability so I couldn't take that damage. Oh, right, there was a heart container up here. Which is still there, so that persists. Lives do not, though. Every time I need to scratch my nose. Don't ever get dry skin, it sucks. My skin's basically allergic to itself. Ugh. It's really uncomfortable all the time. Alright. Bop. Okay. Bop. Timing on this leaves a little bit to be desired. Compared to Fred, though, he can hold his breath for a fairly long time. Not like some platforming heroes on the Genesis. Okay, so we want to get past those rock walls. Okay, so that fish is going to stop there. Cool. Cool. Kind of surprised they didn't include those rock walls in those spike-lined areas. Ah. It's Pete's dragon. Aw, the little clams. They're alive things. That's cute. Okay, so I'm guessing hurling the clams at him is the strategy to win. So don't bother going with smacking him outright, because that's... Oh, that's bad. Oh, Danmaku! Danmaku! Alright, we're okay. What's the hitbox? It doesn't hit directly above... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, your hitbox does not attack directly above you. That's not good. Kind of nice that your continues allow you to continue from the boss, so that's fairly friendly. How much more damage are you going to take? Well, of course, they're probably only taking 1 damage from each of these clams. And then they hit like an invulnerability phase, so it really only does you good to hit them once with one of them. I don't like that the clams take out other clams. That's a little annoying. There you go, Barn. Yabba dabba do, TM. Reminds me of that one Marvel fighting game. But it was either a fighting game or a beat 'em up on the... It wasn't Marvel either, it was DC. And like all the characters had a registered trademark or a copyright right next to their names. It's like, that's really distracting. Can't we just assume we understand that they're owned characters? Oh, we got a auto-scroller. Cool. I'm very worried about how well this is going to go for me. Oh! On the right side, we might get the continue system in action. Oh, okay, don't get scrolled off screen. Even if you're not held in place. Got it. Okay. Still not really sure what those stars do versus the stars with Fred's face on them. I mean, I assume that, like, one is a greater factor of the other or something. Okay, so we're invulnerable. Time to make some progress. That cactus was flexing on us. Super flex cactus. Ow. Okay. We're back to taking damage now. Oh, and our car's falling apart. That's actually really beautifully animated. The car's not even wheeling anymore. Just jump out and run, Fred. I've lost all my health boosts. That's not good. Like, clearly I've got 28 of those Fred stars, but what do those actually delineate? Do I, like, get an extra life if I collect 100 of them or something? Because they seem kind of few and far between to make that a goal. 50, maybe. 50 might be doable. 100 seems a bit exorbitant. Alright, whoa. Oh! Oh, this is gonna be bad. Okay, so gotta keep jumping. Because quicksand is always bad. This is intense. Okay, we got the checkpoint. Unfortunately, we're on our last life. So, I've got 1 health. Hoping the end shows up soon. Because I'm very quickly running out of options. Like that. Alright, well, we've got 9 credits, apparently. That's fairly friendly. Unfortunately, I'm guessing... Yeah, we started at the beginning. Okay. So we gotta be careful about this. Go, jump. Whoa. Okay. Grab the invulnerability and just go. But we have to remember, about the time that the invulnerability wears off, there's an enemy that will hit us. which is right about now. They time that so that invulnerability wears off just as you hit that enemy, which is a bit rude. And now we have to get through this without invulnerability. Alright. Probably would behoove you to be further up ahead, because if you get bounced back, you're more likely to die, but the problem is, running into stuff takes away your health, which will make you more likely to die too. Oh, this is bad. Okay, well, you can at least save yourself if you fall down there. Okay, we got the checkpoint. We got 2 lives. Time to rock and roll. Oh, we didn't make it up there. There's probably something really cool up at the top of that we are not privy to. Okay, so we died around here because of an enemy. That skull head right there. Skull head. Yes, thank you, brain. Okay, well, we're gonna beat this level, I'm sure. Made progress. Oh. I'll never see what's at the top of that thing. It's probably just an extra life or something dumb, which is largely irrelevant at this point in time. Okay, so the enemy should spawn right about now. Jump. Jump. Ah, there we go. We found pebbles. There we go. You can't go by yourself, even though you did and you were perfectly fine. It's a pretty fun game. Pretty fun. It's a Bedrock TM. Alright. We're gonna go look for Betty's ribbon, I guess, even though Barney won't do it. Okay, so we got power-ups, which presumably increases the value of our charge attack. Ooh, another auto-scroller. Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I can't attack when I'm on the other side of these little boxes. Okay, don't run into the roofs of things. Got it. Ow. This is going to be a bit tricky. Okay, well, let's see what we can do about this. Now, it's an auto-scroller, so I gotta keep moving. But finding the perfect timing for things is gonna be paramount if I want to make progress. Go. Gotta take these gunner guys out. Oh, please have some health. That was not health, game. And I'm dead. This is a bit grim. Well, we've got plenty of it continues. I'm guessing that's what those stars are for. Or something. Alright, let's go. Okay. As long as I can knock out these gun guys, we'll be okay, I think. Go. Not sure why there are bees in areas that clearly have a lot of ice. That's not how bees work. Okay. I do appreciate that there's an audio cue for when those hazard lights show up. But really that just means don't jump. Alright, invulnerability. This would have been great to grab later on in the scroll, like right about now. But not being assaulted by bees anymore, so that's a plus. Duck. That's a cute little animation. Okay, now we run. There we go. Gotta be patient for that one. I'm not a patient person, which is a problem. We're only at the first checkpoint. Okay. Clearly have some kind of dinosaur. Ow. Quit it. Ugh. Okay, I think you're supposed to stun it and jump on it. I tried to do that, but it didn't seem to want to go. Okay, so the best thing to do is actually wait for the whole thing to show up. and not run into its fireballs just like that. Or you have to hit it 3 times to stun it, I guess. Because rules of thirds. Okay, presumably we have to be up here. Which means we're going to have to worry about those signs far more frequently. Just gotta keep an ear out for the audio cues, I guess. Oh crap. They throw a lot at you. To be fair, I knew this game was hard. I couldn't beat it when I was a kid, but... Okay. Ow. This is a really grim level. Alright. Gotta keep moving. Can't let the scroll kill me. Okay, no. Got one of those guys with the noses that are also guns. There's reasons, and this one will have 2 of them. Okay. You seem to be able to deflect their shots. That's useful information. Running into bees. Go away, bees. Shouldn't be in the ice like this. Oh, that's very slippy. Alright, got a bonus heart. Vulnerability that I grabbed way too early. On the bright side, we're not dying anytime soon. That's a plus. Duck. Go, go, go. Jump. Alright, we're good. Grab the health. Alright. Okay, so he's gonna basically throw a fireball directly at us the moment we start. Oh crap. Maybe you have to charge attack him. Maybe that's the play we need to go for. Okay. I'm gonna stay low. So you can't hit me with that initial fireball. He knocked me out of my charge. They don't give you a lot of time to go after him. You're gonna have to play this super aggressively, I guess. I do not care for this game's idea of hitboxes. There we go. Okay. Now things are gonna get scary, and now we're dead. I want to say this game has like 6 to 8 levels, so we're actually probably about halfway through the game at this point, at least. This game gets like really hard though. Like, it's not unfairly difficult, but it does get difficult. I think it'd be unfair if you couldn't reflect shots or enemies at each other. There are some things about the hitbox I'd change, like, it looks like that swing should probably hit directly above him and maybe even a little behind him. But it doesn't. And his actual damage seems to be a little bit bigger than his actual character model. But overall, I'm digging this game. Okay, so duck. There'll be a second one coming. Now go. Grab the heart that we don't need. Get the checkpoint. And then that dragon will be up ahead. And we'll have to try and take it out again. Like, the hitbox on this feels a little, like... Okay, so charge just does it once. The problem is, you get knocked out of your charge really easily. Okay. That's weird. Those bees spawned much later than they usually do. I wonder if that's a factor of your character's proximity to something or the screen scroll proximity to something. Okay, I believe this is the one that goes crazy, so you have to move quick. Ow. I think you could probably duck that. Okay, we're safe. For a very brief moment, we're safe. Come on, give me something good. Extra life. Ow. I got the checkpoint. Hooray. Okay. Okay. I wish I could just go into the cars. It's weird that there's no doors for that. I think I can just duck those. Let's find out. Yep. Okay. Oh. That means there's going to be that. Run. Okay. Yeah, this game is definitely like arcade hard. Got some extra health though. Alright. Alright, let's get all Bokenjima up in here. Our little pterodactyl. Come on. Power up. Great. Oh no! Okay, I'm not liking how long this tunnel is. Okay, we got a heart and another one of those Fred stars. Go! I think we're just gonna have to hurry through and hope that the roofs don't collapse on us. Okay, go after the bees. This is really intense. I miss classic gaming like this. Am I supposed to be up there? I guess so. Okay. This animal has nothing to do with the stage itself. Also, we bring you a boss from Sonic 1. Starlight Zone, specifically. Except that was a harder version of this boss, basically. Although those feathers are a little annoying. Oh, okay, so you're gonna pull out an extra trick. Oh, so that attack tracks, does it? And that doesn't hit your hitbox. Fair enough. That was good timing. Okay, this is scary. Okay, well fortunately I get to keep going because your lives get basically counted as extra health. And you can sit under those rocks. That's actually very useful. You can't deflect the feathers though. I guess that's fair. How much health do you have? I do appreciate that the physics works both ways. Probably could have hit him with my club at that point. How much health do you have? About that much, I guess. Now, why did that thing have Betty's ribbon exactly? I like that Barney looks so incredibly pissed. To be fair, you could have done all that, Barney, I'm sure. You're so good at stealing my pebbles. I didn't realize Bam Bam was spelled with 2 M's. I didn't realize dragons lived around here, except for the one I just dealt with in the previous level. You can just have my club, and then I don't have to fight a dragon? That sounds like a plan. That would save us all some grief. No? Oh god, flashing lights. That's not good for me. Oh well, such is the Problem with retro gaming. I wonder if there's a way to mitigate that through RetroArch. I imagine they must have implemented some sort of feature like that I'm just not familiar with. I should take a look at some time. Oh, I don't care for the flashing lights so much. I'm trying to make myself less sick, not more. Oh, okay. Oh, we're not gonna run head first into the pit like in the first level? Okay. Whoa! Okay, that was a bit of a dick move. Okay, I see the... Yeah, right there. Okay, so there's another one. You can kind of see a crease. Like, there's one right here, it looks like, but I guess they're just being inconsistent. Who knows? Grab the health. Who cares? I'm flying. Okay, so we've got a volcano exploding in the background. This is suddenly a mix of Astal and Mischief Makers. Two games I would say I like significantly more than this, but when you remind me of games I like, that doesn't hurt my feelings any. Man, I need to play Astal again. I wish I got my Saturn fixed. Although I did just play Mischief Makers recently for my Dynamite Heady review. That game's really good. Plus, I got to play the game she cameoed in after Mischief Makers. Rakugaki Showtime. It's a game I need to talk more about, because that is a weird-ass game that is really good that no one's ever heard of. Mainly because it stayed inside Japan. Although it is, or at least was, available on PSN for a while. But, you know, with PSN being exactly what it is, there's a good chance it's not available anymore. Or it's certainly a lot harder to find. I don't know why that one gets magic, but the other one doesn't. I mean, clearly it had a yellow bit to it, as opposed to the other one, which had a red bit. Okay, so those bubbles aren't killing me. I guess they're platform bubbles? Okay. So lava instantly kills, and it's possible to get those platforms out of cycle. That's not good. Okay. So we just sort of have to go for it. Watch out for the ones with the yellow vest. They've got that terrible lightning attack I hate. One's got a red vest, so it's fine. Very Streets of Rage that your color delineates exactly what your abilities are. Okay. Yep. I think I can make that. Okay, good. This is stressful. Oh! Fortunately, we've got plenty of continues. Like I said, I think there's 6 levels to this, so we're almost done. I wonder if we can do it. Although now we have to go with more of this flashing nonsense, which I don't like so much. I do like that your dinosaur's fire breath turns things to apples so that you don't die. That's kind of nice. Plus you get more defense. Dinosaurs are definitely awesome in this game. Kinda wish there was more. You know, go full-on Bokenjima as opposed to just getting the pterodactyl. Ow. Okay. So this ramp looks like it'll fling you headlong like the first level, but just doesn't. It's one of those. Grab that. There's another one. If the giant telltale signs that there was one of those gaps wasn't enough, there's also the incredible amounts of lag. Because Sega Genesis. Oh, I just realized there's a timer up at the top telling you exactly how long you have your dinosaur for. That's actually very useful. Okay, now we gotta be a little bit more caref. But not super caref, because that's just not how I roll. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got 3 hearts. And we fell into that stupid pit. How do you... Okay, I think how you're gonna have to do that, I'm thinking, is that you need to run through that last fire bit and just jump from there. If you jump before that, you're always gonna land in that pit. Bop. Okay. Get rid of the lightning guy, who's gonna be the real problem here. Yeah, I've got these out of cycle, but it's a far more favorable cycle. take the damage there, and then go for the jump. That's not great. Uh-oh. Okay, we've got the obligatory sitting in a volcano as it rises. Probably gonna have to do some quick platforming so we don't die sort of situation. Okay. I'm not 100% certain what just happened there. I think the platform you're on slowly sinks, but it's not entirely clear at what rate. So that could be better explained to you. One issue, which now just got alleviated, is the fact that I don't have many lives, so if there's a boss at the end of this, and there probably is, I'm not really sure how we're gonna deal with that. Okay. There we go. Okay. We need to keep an eye on that platform. Yeah, it's lowering. I think I have an idea as to what happened. I think if you jump on it, it lowers it faster, and we jumped on it twice. You're gonna have to jump on it once to get on there, but after that, if you don't jump, you'll be okay, I think. Although, again, we have no lives, so if we get to a boss after this, we're pretty much screwed. See what we can do about this, though. Okay, so this is the one we have to jump on. There we go. That's just mean. Oh, you can wait for it to go away, I guess. Okay, so that lowers. I'm not sure how long we have, though. Okay. That's a lot faster than it was a second ago. Okay, well that was our last life, so... Again, if there was a boss, we were screwed. But... Okay, let's just be a little bit careful. So as not to get completely destroyed by lightning again. I've done that, it's not fun. Give me apples now, please. Thank you. I like that this dinosaur can outrun lightning. That's just a nice feeling. Okay, so jump. Didn't have to pull myself up. And then I fell into a pit. See, I'm worrying about hazards super far in the future. And I'm not worrying about the ones I have to deal with now, and I basically just lost continue. I'm just gonna die here. Or restart. Not sure if we're going to be able to beat this game at this rate. Not that that was my intention to begin with, but, you know. We're close, so it'd be kind of nice if we could. Pop. Okay, I think this is a... I thought that was a heart container, but no. I swear there was a heart container around here. There it is. Poop. Okay. Can't grab ledges while on a dinosaur. You can't seem to eject like Yoshi. That's hilarious. I think that means that, just by virtue of the fact that that dinosaur got taken out by the lightning, so it hit the tree behind it, that it's not preset what lightning is going to strike what tree, but rather it's based on proximity. Or something. Ugh. I even hit the lava that time, I just fell through. Okay, I'm just gonna go take a death again. Ow. Take a death. This game is very difficult. Really fun, though. I'm glad I got it. Yeah, it's based on your proximity, I guess. Yeah, we were close to that guy. It hit the tree. That was... Yeah, so it's entirely based on your own proximity. That's useful knowledge. I mean, it makes sense that the hazards would be actively attacking you, I guess. Especially considering this is definitely an arcade game. Alright. Jump. Pull yourself up. Pull yourself up. Out. Okay. You're gonna fly right up to the sky, which is gonna be more disorienting than anything. But I'm prepared for that trick. The ground's gonna collapse right there. I saw the thing one area before it. I thought that was, this right here was gonna collapse, but it's right here. Alright. That's gonna collapse. Run under you. And my cat's scratching on my door, which I really need to deal with, but got a dinosaur for the next 10 seconds, and I'm gonna use it, damn it. Okay, we got the checkpoint at least. Also got some health. Also got a health extension. I appreciate that you can wait for these fires to subside. That actually makes it substantially easier, but at the same time, it's not really conducive because you'll be sitting there getting pelted by fire and lightning. Okay, I get it. You want outside. Go. Alrighty. Alright, let's get my water bottle and my nice foot warming blanket back on. Still have no idea what was making me so sick. Again, I think it was just rapid onset flu or something. Or food poisoning. Either way, it was absolute hell. That took away my entire weekend. On the bright side, I'm getting better, which is nice. Also, that's a delightful little animation for your pause screen. Okay. You dropped me right into the fire pit, damage. I do not care for that. Okay, well... if there's a boss at the end of this, we're screwed, but... I was really hoping I could take him out. I don't like that they have that and it drops you directly into that pit. That's a dick move. Alright. Let's try again. Ow. I'm getting so used to, like, later hazards, I'm forgetting the basic beginning ones. Fortunately, everything hit by this dinosaur's fire breath gives me more health, so you can hit me as much as you like, lightning, and I'll probably be fine. Not that that's an invitation to do so. Whoa! Okay, I appreciate that there was a bit of an animation there for, you know, Fred walking off the cliff like that. I'd have preferred that the game just not put me in that situation to begin with, but what can you do? Okay. Jump. Okay. There's the collapsing floor. There's another one. I don't like that you have to sort of awaken the egg before you hit it. I feel like that's a little fiddly and doesn't really accomplish anything substantial. Good use of dinosaur there. Okay. I guess they're in like a universal cycle or something, the little droplets. These are not, though, which actually makes planning for them a little awkward. Okay, so this is the one I gotta jump at. Yeah, okay. Now the problem here is this platform kind of sinks a bit too fast. Like, you kind of have to blindly jump. And you kind of have to know when to blindly jump. Also, I did not grab the platform for some reason. Okay. Also, there are a few things about this level that feel a little bit unfair, but by and large, this game is difficult, but it's like a fair difficult, I think. It's definitely got the arcade difficulty down, but like not in a way that feels cheap. And it's impressive to do that because, like, going back to that train, there was like entire swarms of bees dropping on your head all at once. And, you know, it just it was hard to fathom how you were supposed to deal with that. And the fact that you actually could with relative ease was very empowering and exciting. That's a good way to have paced that. Okay, yeah, you gotta jump like the moment you see that platform in the corner, which is not a lot of time to react. I feel like they could have probably done that a little bit better. So it's almost like you have to make a blind jump, like not actually blind, but not far off. Okay. Come on, there we go. There we go. Here's the one we need to run through to jump at the edge to make it through. And here's where things get bad, but it doesn't matter because I just dropped in the fire like a total idiot. Alright. I gotta say, it's a pretty fun game, though. Up to this point, I haven't had any real problems with it in terms of difficulty. Like, it's definitely a challenging game for sure, but like I said, it seems, up to this point anyway, to be a pretty fair difficulty. Okay, jump, 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 jump. Take damage there intentionally to make that jump. And now is where things get a little scary. Yeah. Like, it shows up just as you have, like, the ability to reach it. Alright, well, this is our last chance, I guess. Off. Off. Haha. You got hit by lightning. Okay. Go, 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 go. Let's not get hit by lightning. Oh no, we did, but we got apples, so it's all fine. Okay. So here's where, again, it should feel like we speed up, like in the first stage, but we don't. Collapse. Collapse. Run underneath you, activate you, smack you. Grab the health and leg it. Okay. Alright. Making progress. Just need to run through all this nonsense. Okay, so now we gotta be careful, because I think we're out of sync for those ones over the pit. I'll just wait for them to drop. Like that. Okay, now we're good. But it doesn't matter because I've walked in. There's just a slight delay on inputs sometimes, or it might be like the lag just eats your inputs a little bit or something. I've noticed that a few times that it just feels like sometimes it doesn't know when you want to jump. I can actually land between there without taking damage. I know it, I just have not done it. Okay. Go, go. Jump. No, there's a collapsing thing. There it is. Okay. Okay, so I can actually jump whenever I want. Might be beneficial. Seeing exactly where the hell that thing is. Unfortunately, it gets me out of cycle because you have to land before I can jump again. This is not a pleasant moment. I think this is thus far the only part of the game I would say feels a little bit unfairly paced. Okay. Jump, jump, jump. Hit that, grab the star, grab the apple. Go, go, go. Okay, so jump there. This is the one we take damage on. Jump. There we go. I'm just gonna have to wait until I see it and hope. Nope. Just a smidge too late. It wouldn't be so bad if the fire or the lava didn't kill you instantaneously. Like, if you took damage from it, that would be one thing. The fact that it kills you instantly, but you have to make a jump that's timed basically perfectly based on something you can't see, that's a little bit of a different story. There we go. Made that jump without taking damage. Knew I could do it. Yay me. It's our last chance, though. Okay. Go for the jump. There we go. For the other jump. Here we go. Nope. Alright, well, that's it. So I guess I'll pick up another Genesis game. Just give me a sec. So I believe that's the mute button. And that is the that button. And then I reset. I need the TV so my camera doesn't pick anything up. Let's see, what'll our next game be? Let's go to R. For that. And then we wait for it to start up. Wait for it to start up. There it is. Okay. There it is. We have Ranger X. I got this a little while ago. Haven't really played much of it, but it's an interesting idea. From what I've played, anyway. Also, I kind of appreciate the 3D vector graphics. That's quite nice. This is genuinely quite impressive. Stage 1 start. The target is some amorphous blob thing. Got it. So this is Ranger X. It is kind of a side-scrolling shooter. Kind of a platformer. Kind of both, kind of neither. You've got a mech. You've got a motorcycle. You've got a mech with a motorcycle. Kind of reminds me a little of Choplifter too, where you have to kind of go around to hit specific targets and stuff. Even though it's basically nothing like Choplifter. I am not very good at this game because I haven't played very much of it. It's a little bit more complicated than the Flintstones was. But it's neat. Okay, so we got a flamethrower, we got a little pea shooter thingamabob. As long as we ride our motorcycle and escape the enemy shots, we'll be okay. Hope. We seem to be able to build up power by not using our attacks. But by not using our attacks, we're not attacking, so. Ow. Yes, continue. It's nice to see our little motorcycles sort of take the initiative and follow us along. We don't have to keep it going. I think this is a... Yeah, it's a little healing pod. So we can just hang out here. Get back on our motorcycle. More like a unicycle, only has one wheel. Okay. Not a big fan of the fact I had to waste a continue, but if we keep moving without stopping, we should be able to basically finish this level. Oh, now the commander's coming out. Unfortunately, we still have to deal with this crap. Commander's coming. Whoop. They captured someone. The flashing doesn't seem as egregious as the previous game. That's kind of nice. like our flamethrowers are best bet right now. We can damage them by taking little bits off them, so the enemies are modularly by design. That's pretty cool, actually. The fact that we've taken out seemingly half their weapons at this point without... Okay, so your health is sort of in that general area right now. As I was saying, taking out about half your health, but we've got pretty much all your weapons, which means you probably have some kind of second phase, because I doubt half your health is in this top-mounted missile launcher. I could be wrong. This part kind of reminds me of Bangayo a little bit. No, half your health just have to be in one specific rocket launcher. Alright, fair enough. I do like the mech design in this. This is quite a pretty game when it wants to be. Alright. Whoa! Star Fox, eat your heart out. Ranger X has done this. Actually, I don't know if this was before or after Star Fox, but still really impressive. And it's not like on a super giant cart like Virtua Racing or anything. It's on a standard Genesis cart. Be able to do this is quite impressive, and the sprite work's actually really nice too. Alright, unicycle. Let's go. Okay, so I assume I have to destroy this. Okay. So that stops powering that. Oh, I can go inside my motorcycle. Can I jump while inside my motorcycle? Let's find out. So that changes. Okay, so one attack attacks left, one attack attacks right. And one changes your weapon type, I guess. Oh, okay. So that actually changes your armaments for your mech mode. I don't know how incredibly useful that is, but... Whoa. Alright. I don't need to worry about my unicycle, I don't think. Just the mech I gotta worry about. So, as long as I avoid damage as the mech will be fine. Unless I'm in my unicycle, obviously. Okay, so that little circle thing in the corner, that is my thruster gauge. Noted. Okay, so that seemed to stop something that was up here. Hello. Random thing that's guarding this thing and is now dead. And now I've got some kind of new gun. I'm just gonna sit here and heal, thank you. Now, presumably that new gun will make our motorcycle more awesome. Or rather, we can swap while we're in our motorcycle. Let's see what this is all about. Ooh! Okay. So... that's... I think it needs more power and it doesn't recharge like the flamethrower. Okay. Okay, let's... I'm a giant mech. I can't really do all that much right now. Bike! Save me. It's weird because you kind of have to control both at the same time. They're not entirely autonomous. Or rather, they're semi-autonomous. But you're kind of using the same inputs. Okay, so I can't jump over this. Can I push these? I can get through them, so that's... Now, my thing is telling me to go to the left, but my actual thing is telling me to go to the right, so I'm not sure what's going on. Still, as long as I just feather the verniers, I should be okay. There we go. Okay. Whoa. Yeah, as long as I feather the verniers, this Not quite done, Maku will be fine. Unless I get completely knocked out, in which case it's bad. Okay. I do appreciate that I can take out those big red fiery shots. Okay, let's back off a little. I assume it doesn't heal. It's really just a matter of taking their thing out. Okay, okay. Let's get back to our bike, which was below us. And we have to go through this nonsense again. Okay. Okay, so we've got targeting cannons up there, which means there's probably something powering them up here. Okay, well, it seems a bit dangerous to go that way. Let's try clearing out this way. As far as I know, all this is really going to... Hello? Can I go up there? No, it's just a style thing that we can just open a hole in the roof. Okay. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. They look kind of like newt tails. But either way. There we go. Ah! Let's get out of there. Okay. So we're looking for something that can power some cannons over here. And we did. Good job, me. Now let's get back to our little bike. Preferably before we die. There was a healing device. I'm not sure if it can keep healing us, but we can back up and try and find it again. It was... I think it was up here. Yeah, here it was. Next to these newt tail things. Go away, newt tail things. No one likes you. Ugh. Now we'll never know if that thing can heal me. Because you stupid newt tails killed me. Okay, it doesn't seem like our power's actually being restored in any way, shape, or form. Stand in here. Do we get healed? I mean, it's animating like it's responding to us, but it's not actually. Okay. Come on, bike. Oh, you can jump on the bike. It's down. That's not awkward at all. Okay, so I'm not really sure what charges power right off. Fortunately, I don't need to worry about lava because I can just get out of my bike, and my bike's invulnerable as long as I'm not in it. It's one of any enemies from Assault Suit. Okay, we're good. We were good a second ago, now we're not good. Die, random thing that looks like it's vaguely taken from Assault Suit. Counterpoint, I'll just fly over you. There. So that's the problem, random thing that looks like it's from Assault Suit. You don't have a motorcycle. Motorcycles make mechs and basically everything better, speaking as someone who owns a motorcycle. Okay, so this is going to make that roll out. And I want to avoid destroying as many of those presumably eggs as we possibly can. I'm getting some Mega Man 2 flashbacks. Except those eggs didn't contain anything from what I remember. They were just sort of blocks you had to shoot to get out of your way for some reason. And that was... Flashman? Might have been Mega Man 3 with Gemini Man, maybe. That sounds more right. I just remember some Mega Man enemy having like weird egg bubble things in their stage. Okay. So that summoned a lot of those things, and I want nothing to do with it because we take a lot of damage from that. Okay. So we need to go to the right. Yeah, okay, I follow you. Problem is that that was about as far right as we could go. I'm worried about that rock, but it seems to be perfectly perched to not actually kill us. And I guess that's it. Well, that was a lot shorter than the previous one. That's fine though. I like that. I might play more of that in my own time, but I got one more game. It'll probably be even shorter, but we'll see. Okay. So, let's reset the system. This one, not gonna be Genesis. It's gonna be Mega Drive because it never got released on the Genesis. But it's one I'm pretty excited to own because the previous game in the series, or one of the previous games in the series, was the first game I ever played. So I'm kind of super jazzed about it, if I'm being completely honest. All right. So, come on, reset, turn on. It is. And get some audio. Because we have Super Fantasy Zone. Fantasy Zone 2 was the very first game I ever played. So I'm pretty excited to give this one a shot. It's apparently programmed by Sunsoft. We got options. Let's throw on more lives. I'm going to throw this on easy because Fantasy Zone is notoriously stupidly hard, despite how cute it is. Now, from what I remember, this takes more design cues from the original Fantasy Zone than Fantasy Zone 2. Fantasy Zone 2, every level was like 3 levels sort of stacked on top of each other, and you had to like explore them. Whereas Fantasy Zone 1, every level was a single strip, and you just had to destroy all the bases in every area to advance. So we're going to buy that. Because anything faster than the big wings usually gets you killed. And do we have the double bombs? I'm not seeing double bombs anywhere. Extra ship would be nice. Rubber boots and super lights. These are special abilities that are required for certain levels. I know that. The thing about all these weapons is... There's double bombs. The thing about all these weapons is basically they run on a timer. It's not even like a use thing, if I remember correctly. It's just a timer. So you have to be real careful about it, because you can run out of your abilities really fast that way. Then you have to buy more, and they get exponentially more expensive every time you buy something. So you kind of have to be careful not buying things you don't need when you don't need to buy them. But yeah, this game plays pretty much exactly like Fantasy Zone 1. It's got a single strip level design as opposed to multiple strips stacked on top of each other. Which means when we destroy the final base, a boss will spawn. As opposed to Fantasy Zone 2, where you'd then have to go find the boss area, which would be hidden somewhere. I kind of like that, though. That gives you time to prepare before a boss fight, as opposed to now, which is just, okay, now you're in a boss fight. It's a pumpkin! It's Danmaku Pumpkin. Yeah, these games are not easy. And now we've lost our bomb and our big wings because we died. Okay, so it spirals out and they all curve when they spiral out. Okay. Unfortunately, that makes calculating it a little tricky for me, but we'll see what we can do. I am running into every single one of them. It's fine. Might take an hour to get to level 2, but we'll do it. Okay, there we go. Actually, yeah, if you want to get that far away from me, it's a lot easier to move around and avoid attacks. Alright, there we go. Unfortunately, we couldn't get all the money. Okay, so these guys are moving left to right. That's worth knowing. Okay. Let's grab big wings so we can move a decent clip. Twin bombs, instead of being 200, is now 700. Like I said, stuff gets exponentially more expensive the more you play. Extra life, 5,000. Then 20,000. I don't think we'll be buying another one of those anytime soon. Okay. Oh, and the enemies are tracking us. Delightful. Alright. I remember those little guys with the noses that chase after you from Fantasy Zone 2. So they are reusing some of the enemy designs. most enemies in Fantasy Zone were just generic shapes that just sort of spiraled around and were basically bullets. And later ones actually shot bullets at you. Which was weird because if you got hit by a bullet in Fantasy Zone, that was the only situation where you wouldn't instantly die because everything else instant-killed you. But so few things actually fired bullets at you that... Honestly, it would not be a mistake to say that was a game where you had no health and everything one-shot you, because that's certainly how it would feel most of the time, and it wouldn't be strange to run into a situation where you just, over the course of your entire time playing Fantasy Zone, you never ran into a bullet, but you ran into other enemies that were basically just bullet-esque. It was a weird situation because Fantasy Zone 2, at least, it gave you a health bar, but it was basically meaningless. Okay, let's grab some more. I'm not sure what triggers shops in this game. In Fantasy Zone 2, they were just places you had to go find, and sometimes they're hidden. Fantasy Zone 1, it was usually based on score. I assume it's going to be like that, but it might be a timer-based thing, too. Okay, boss is showing up. What are we fighting this time? Okay, it's a big wall of guns. A big wall of guns that are rotating in order. Okay. So we can actually create a little safe space for us. This might actually be not too bad. The issue with this fight... Okay, that might be an issue. I was going to say the issue with this fight is going to be the fact that eventually when we create or when we get rid of enough cannons, it's eventually going to be hard to track where the shot pattern is. But if they're rotating like that, that actually creates even more hazards, because, again, you have to figure out where the shot pattern is, based on what you can't see, but also, instead of just ducking into potentially hazardous areas, suddenly the hazardous areas are still coming at you. So, yeah, this might be a little bit tricky. Not as bad as the first boss, though. Not seeing any Don Maku nonsense, for one thing. Ah, that was an easy fight. Alright, grab all the money we can so we can buy more health. This level's based on Niagara Falls, I assume. Based on that name. Okay. Well, we already have the bigwigs and the double bomb. Actually, I don't think we do. Oh, no, we do. It's sold out. Okay. Heavy bomb tends to be the best kind of bomb you can get, but I'm more interested in the extra lives. I think we're good. I've always been of the opinion not to bother with extra weapons if you can help it, just because they're based on a timer. Hey, I see little square-shaped totem-faced enemies. Those were in Fantasy Zone 2 as well. They were one of the enemies that showed up in the very first stage. So I saw them an awful lot, even if I couldn't get past that stage, because these games are unbelievably difficult. This one's not too bad, but again, I've given myself a lot of lives to start with, and I've set it to easy. Two things you couldn't really do with Fantasy Zone 1 or 2, from what I remember. I really want to get a copy of Fantasy Zone 2 again. Like, I'm so bitter that my family gave away my SMS and all my games. That they also gave away my Saturn and a bunch of my N64 stuff. Pretty much all my games at the time they managed to get rid of, which sucked. And the thing that hurts the most is not just the fact that they went and sold my own stuff without my consent or anything. They took it to a pawn shop and they gave it to them for free. That, to this day, still stings. Because that really devalues something that I loved greatly. I love Fantasy Zone a whole lot. A lot of people consider this the third Fantasy Zone game. That's not actually true, it's the fifth. Because between Fantasy Zone 2 and this, there were two other games that a lot of people don't even consider Fantasy Zone games because they were wildly different. There's Fantasy Zone The Maze, which was like this weird Pac-Man knockoff. There's a game called Galactic Protectors, which basically had you pilot two ships around a planet to attack asteroids that were... It was kind of like a three-dimensional. It was kind of like an omnidirectional, anyway. Missile command, sorta. It wasn't a great game, neither of them were. And then after this, Fantasy Zone just kind of disappeared forever. Oh, we're fighting a carp kite. Okay. So what are you gonna do, and why should I be scared? 'Cause oh, okay. So you have wind. That's terrifying. And I can only attack you when your mouth's open. And you have Don Maku. Okay. And I have to be careful of those scales you chuck at me. Okay. Might be worth trying to buy power up, but interesting. This game does not run with Fantasy Zone 1 rules. In Fantasy Zone 1, if you died on a boss, they drop you a shop before the boss would spawn. Here, obviously, they're not doing that, which is annoying. Okay. So, get a couple shots in, don't get greedy. If I play this defensively, it's not too bad. I'd say the first boss is still the hardest. I'd say this isn't hard. But once you get his attack pattern, it's literally two things. And that the wind is the most dangerous thing out of them. As long as you can keep an eye on those scales, it's not that bad. I think the real issue is the fact that the scales kind of blend in with the waterfall in the background a little bit. So I think next attack he'll probably die. It seems to me red is the you're gonna die color. There it is. Grab all the monies. Okay. Hey, pretty time. Hope you're having a good evening. Okay, so this is where we're gonna need that extra bit of light. The, the super lights. I don't know if these are gonna run out, like everything else, but we're gonna need that. Grab twin bombs again to be safe and big wings. Okay. I'm guessing that they're not considered a super weapon, it's just a passive thing. Yeah, okay. So now we can actually see what we're doing. The rubber boots, I know what those are for. Basically, there's a level where the ground is electrified. So if you want to go on the ground, you need them. Which isn't going to be that big a deal, but it's probably safer to grab them than not. Whoa! Okay, we're okay. Okay. We're okay for now. Whoa. Okay, I like that. I am scared of fighting a boss like this. I was hoping that the lights would just light everything up, but the fact that it's not only not doing that, but it's not like a circle around you, rather it's ovoid. So you can't get really a sense of verticality is a bit disorienting. But we'll make it work. We'll try anyway. Okay. Whoa. Get past the R-type guys. Okay, so it looks like there's 4 more of these. On the bright side, the enemies don't seem to be actively tracking us in this level. That might be a little cruel. Again, they might in the harder difficulties, but I mean, this is easy mode and it's still pretty grim. Okay. Let's go. Oh. Grab that. Alright, we're doing okay, we're doing okay. Grab that coin because I want it. It's money and I need it. Okay. Just park ourselves here for a minute. And now we're just waiting for the boss to spawn. Hopefully it's not going to completely kill us, but this is Fantasy Zone. It's totally going to kill us. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, now we can actually see. Good. It looks like you're weak to above you and below you. Okay. Whoa, okay. Kind of like the falls, the bullets are a little hard to figure out where they are. I'm glad I got the double bombs, though. Although, the heavy bomb would be really nice here, because you could probably kill it in one shot. Okay, well, at least you can see what you're doing here. Okay. The big wings would be super helpful right about now. I think anything beyond big wings is kind of useless to me specifically. Just by virtue that I find you go way too fast. Fantasy Zone taught me that from a very young age, is not every power-up is actually a power-up. Because, like, yeah, you can go faster. You can go as fast as you want, but going more than slightly faster than the normal speed is probably going to get you killed. Okay, drop that there. Whoa. Whoa. You are really flailing those axes rather crazily. Fortunately, you're at red health, or at least orange health, so you're going to die soon. Yeah. Okay, so as it takes more damage, effectively, it gets a lot more aggressive. Which means that it benefits you to get a lot closer to it, which is, you know, kind of scary. Because, like, right now, it's taking basically no damage. Its axes are literally doing nothing. And I think it takes a second for its guns to readjust, so if I position myself over here, it actually can't do anything to me for a minute. Which is actually quite lovely. It's also my last life. I don't know. Maybe we'll play something else after this. We'll see. Whoa! Almost ran into that. We're fine. Fine. Okay, yeah, so it's starting to get a little bit more active with those axes. Okay. Ugh. That's grim. I want to go again. I've certainly got other Genesis games we could play as well, but I feel like this is too short. I feel like Ranger X was too short as well, but I didn't want to start from level 1 again, if I'm being honest. Okay. I don't want that shop to go away. I don't know what the mechanics of the shop actually are. Okay, so we got 2,000 gold. Let's buy the big wings, the twin bombs, and the first extra ship is 5,000, so we couldn't afford it if we wanted to. Okay. I think thus far the first boss is probably the most dangerous, although I will say that that's Dark Cave boss is a bit scary as well, but I think that's more in a fair sense. I think throwing the first boss that's all done Maku at you is a bit insane. But to be fair, Fantasy Zone 2 was like that too. Like, the first boss basically threw an entire wall at you that you just had to avoid. And then, like, the second boss was actually substantially easier for some reason. Like, the pacing in Fantasy Zone has always been a little weird. Okay, and we get more money if we kill entire groups of enemies. It's kind of great easy like that. Okay, fight the evil King Pumpkin. And here's where things get scary. Okay, yeah, as long as he's to one side, it's not bad. When he shows up in the middle, that's when things are problematic. I don't think I can grab any of that money. Oh yeah, got all of it. I actually have money. Not like real life. I wish I knew what that was like. Okay, I need some extra lives, because I'm going to die without them. Okay, bought 2 more, so that's delightful. And again, all these weapons kind of are limited, so I wouldn't waste my time with them. Plus, if you die with them, you lose them, and they get exponentially more expensive, so I don't see a lot of point in the weapons in Fantasy Zone, just because relying on them seems like a really bad idea. Like, if you got really good at any one particular game, it'd be a really great idea to have them, especially like the heavy bombs, because those can like one-shot bosses if you know how to use them right. But they're specifically basically designed to use on bosses. They're kind of useless outside of that. And since the shop doesn't spawn inside boss arenas, nor does the game allow you to re-outfit yourself if you die on a boss, it's largely pointless in this game, it seems. Go after. I like the little yellow guys with the big nose. For me, those were some of the most iconic enemies from the original, or Fantasy Zone 2 at least. Although I think the little totem-faced panel things stick with me a little bit more, because they were just kind of spooky looking. Okay, here we go. So let's go fight a big wheel of lasers again. Preferably without dying. As long as I make a small dent in them, I'm okay. Granted, once they start rotating, that changes, but... Also, I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but those cannons look like moai heads. They look like Easter Island heads for some reason. Whoop! I'm staying out of your way. Okay. I don't know how I didn't die from that. I'm, thankful I didn't. Just not sure how. I like that you can moonwalk. That's cute. Okay. Well, I think I'm currently untouchable. Which is nice. Because I don't particularly want to be touched. Okay, so just gotta... And your hitbox actually disappears at that point, so I can actually fly into you and collect all your money beforehand. There we go. Okay, so this is the Niagara Falls level. Is there anything I want right now? Let's find out. I can't afford that. I don't want that. I could get a shield. I'm not sure how helpful that is. I feel like that would probably only protect you from bullets, which in Fantasy Zone is not that helpful, honestly. So I'll just hold on for more lives. I think is the sensible thing we'll do. Fortunately, I think I'm prepared for the boss this time, so... Yeah, these yellow guys. I remember them from the first stage of Fantasy Zone 2 as well. To me, I think they're probably one of the most iconic, just generic enemies. Because they're kind of spooky looking. And they hint at some kind of like weird culture in the Fantasy Zone that I'm not privy to. Maybe it explains why Harrier's no longer around. Or something. It never did explain like what relation this has to Space Harrier. And why Space Harrier was too lazy to do anything in these games. Or why Opa Opa couldn't save the Fantasy Zone during Space Harrier. Okay. I believe Opa Opa was Sega's original mascot too. Like, I'm pretty sure he predated Alex Kidd. I know that he certainly predated Sonic. He was one of those early proto-mascots for Sega, before they latched on to Sonic and ran him into the ground. And now his games are completely decimated by fan games that do basically the same thing, but better in all respects. Shoutouts to Spark for being awesome. Oh, I want to play Spark now. That would involve me turning on my Steam Deck and stuff. Right now, I just want to play my RetroPie. Alright. Want that coin. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so the trick is to play this one defensively. Keep an eye out for those scales, and you'll do fine. Whoa. Okay, we're good. Whoa. Okay. Well, I don't get too greedy, and I focus on the things that are hard to see, because of the background. This isn't too bad a fight. Okay, next. Okay, or this one. This one where he dies is fine too, I guess. Okay, now we gotta buy those lights again. Honestly, I'm surprised I made it this far. In any capacity in Fantasy Zone, because these games are brutally hard. Okay. Grabbing an extra ship because I can afford it. Grab those lights because we can afford it. Good enough. Now, as long as we are super cautious, we should be okay. I like that you could play this without the lights, though. Like, that's It's certainly doable, but I wouldn't want to. And the fact that the boss fights, like, light up the area is certainly a nice touch. I think that's fair, especially because they won't let you re-outfit yourself between fights if you die, which I kind of prefer the idea of being able to do that, but I prefer the Fantasy Zone 2 style of being able to go re-outfit yourself whenever. As opposed to, well, in Fantasy Zone 1, it was a score-based thing. Once you hit certain scores, they'd drop a shop for you that you could take or not. Or sometimes you didn't have an option, you just would have to skip it because, you know, you weren't fast enough or it was in a really unfavorable spot. I kind of like the Fantasy Zone 2 system of wandering around looking for it, and then deciding to go fight the boss whenever you want. It just, it gave you a lot more choice and a lot more freedom in how you decide to approach each stage, and I really value that. Crap. On the bright side, that's the first death of this playthrough. That's not bad. But again, we're also playing on, like, the easiest mode. Okay, shop. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna need a light, because there's only one more of these guys left. And once the boss spawns, it won't matter. Alright, there we go. So all we have to do is wait for the boss to spawn, grab the coin that just appeared out of nowhere. Alright, here we go. I really should have gotten a better weapon. Oh! And I just did that. I should have gotten the like, huge bombs. But if I'm gonna die before I can even hit the boss, I guess it doesn't matter much. Oh, that was dumb of me. Oh well, we got 5 more shots. If this fails, I could try something else. My Genesis collection. I've got a couple of games we could do. Whoop! Okay, well, it seems like our bombs are really our only option here. Because I don't have a way of attacking from above, or from below, upwards. This is the only way I can attack straight down, so... I'm so worried about those bullets. I'm so worried about the axes, I'm not even paying attention to the bullets. This might be the boss that walls me for now. Okay. Let's... You don't have to... You don't get points for bullet grazing in this game, I don't think. This also isn't one of those games that has like a really bizarrely small hitbox. Your entire sprite is your hitbox. You know, that messed me up for bullet hells forever because I couldn't really understand the whole bullet grazing nonsense. Like, because I grew up with Fantasy Zone where your entire hitbox is your sprite, the idea that your hitbox could be substantially smaller than your sprite just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, as long as I back out, because the axes don't reach the full edge of the screen, I think I can just sort of lob bombs from a distance. I think that's the plan. Just means I have to watch those bullets that I just ran into. But the point is we're making progress, and I've found a strategy that should work. Okay, let's go again. So it seems like lobbing bombs from a distance. It seems like there's a bit of momentum here, because that's like just neutral and that's forward and forward. If you aim forward while dropping your bombs go further. So there's sort of like a momentum thing going on with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to hang out on the outer side. Fling bombs as much as we possibly can. Keep an eye out for those axes. But between shots, we're going to swap sides so that the guns have to readjust. They're less likely to hit us. Which isn't to say it's a perfect strategy. Might not even be a good strategy. But it's one I've come up with that seems to not be getting me killed right now. It does seem like his hitbox is a little bit bigger than the glowy spots on him, which I think is fairly generous. But it might be because we're using bombs, which just in general has a slightly bigger attack radius because of splash damage or something. Alright. So very little of that thing gave me points. It was all the arms. Okay. Progress. Okay, shop, give me things to buy. I want big wings and double bombs because those are my go-tos. I can't afford a new ship, and I can't... Well, I could afford boots, but I don't think this is the level we need them for. Because I don't see any electricity on the ground. Okay. So, we've got little flying speakers dropping something. Well, jelly squishies fly through the skies. Okay. I played a little bit of the Fantasy Zone 2, like, arcade imagining. Like, because Fantasy Zone 2 was made specifically for the SMS, as opposed to Fantasy Zone 1, which was made for the arcades. They decided to reimagine it much later. I think it was, like, mid-2000s or so. And they made a version of it, which is like the what if this was made for arcades, and it just looks gorgeous. And I think they put it on the 3DS. I got that version too, but they added some extra features and stuff as well. But it's not quite the game I remember. Like, I wouldn't say I'd ever pick it over the original, because the original is just completely nostalgic for me, but it's absolutely fantastic, and it's probably the nicest looking Fantasy Zone game. So if you want a game that looks great and you want to try Fantasy Zone, the arcade version of the second one is definitely the one I'd go with. And of course, it was put on the PS2 and the 3DS. In fact, I think it was put on the 3DS twice as part of a collection as well as a separate release. And I think each one of those things has slightly different things going on with it. Okay, I have no idea what we're fighting now. Oh god! Okay. Giant Dogu heads. Okay, so we're looking at open eyes. The open eyes are the things we need to attack. And it looks like they share a health pool, so while we have to worry about each of them, we don't have to worry about individual health pools. Which should also mean that we don't need to worry individually about them getting some kind of new form halfway through when we kill one of them. So that's good. Unfortunately, I'm running out of health and lives very quickly. Doesn't look like they ever go directly in, like, the dead center of the screen. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm not going to say they have a simple pattern, like I'm sure it is, but while you're flying and trying to kill them, it's not as simple as it probably looks. Whoa! Also, my basic wings are not fast enough to get around them, so I kind of have to know exactly where they're going to be. Still, this seems like a totally fair boss. It also seems substantially easier than the last one. Still, I think if you fly in vaguely small circles around one side of the edge, you should be okay. Yeah, this is working fine for me. Okay. I got a little greedy. Oh, but that was enough. I'm getting, like, none of the coins, but I got them. This is the one where you need electric boots. Also, this is going to give me massive headaches to look at, so hopefully we get out of this level quickly or die. Better wings, better bombs. Can I buy a new ship? No. But we can buy boots. And now we should be able to stand in the electricity. Yep. In fact, we got new colored shoes. So that's cute. Ah! Okay, those are following me. Enemies don't typically track in Fantasy Zone. They'll spawn around you, but they won't usually actively track you. Those ones weren't actively tracking me, they just spawned around where I started and then just went at you in a full circle. Alright. Well, that's Fantasy Zone. This lightning floor is giving me a massive headache, so seizure warnings. Probably a little late, but That's pretty fun. Really hard. It's a shame we never got it over here, but that's really fun. And as a fan of Fantasy Zone, I'm glad I've got it. I guess we'll try one more game that I picked up a while ago. Let's. We've got audio. We've got Mazen Saga, Mutant Fighter by Ko Nagai, in a cross between Mazinger Z and Devilman of all things. It's got some really, really kickin' looking character designs to it. Like, if I could get a figurine of the main character, I would. It looks really bloody cool. But it's a beat 'em up. That's not the button I want. That's the one that gives me my special attack that drains my health. That's a neat little... I don't think it'll set the world on fire, but this was a game I really wanted to get. This was one of my more wanted Genesis games. And I couldn't even tell you why, because it's not even that great, but I think it's pretty cool. If I remember correctly, there's like an attack that does like a... Yeah, there we go. Pinwheel of Death. It's not quite the equivalent of human blender mode from good old Ninja Warriors, but it'll do. Also, there's giant feet. So all those foot fetishists out there, this is the game for you. For the first level, anyway. Alright. Ow. Whoa. The slowdown meant that I did a thing. Don't need score. Need health. I'm really impressed with how this is animated. Like, it looks really fluid and nice. Alright. Because finding a way to transition between your levels is hard. Just gonna fly up into the air and appear in the next level. Why not? But yeah, this I wouldn't say is the best Genesis game, but and I think it's absurdly expensive for what it is. Like, this game's like $80-90 now. But again, most Genesis games seem to be for whatever reason. I just found it weird that, like, and I said this during my collection video when I showed off some of the games I picked up, but it's weird that Genesis games have gotten so expensive, but Phantasy Star 4, which was always, like, absurdly expensive, that has basically gotten no change in price. It's just sort of set at the same price for pretty much since the day it went on sale. Although, to be fair, it was very expensive when it first sold, too, because it had a lot of bespoke hardware on its cartridge. But it's weird to me that Genesis games are so highly desired now, and I'm sure it's probably just for some of that scam WADA bullshit, but, like, it's weird that the one game that I would think would be worth an absurdly huge sum of money just isn't. And then there's other games that I can't imagine why they're expensive, like El Viento now costs a couple $100, which means I'll never get a copy. It's like, why is that expensive? Like, okay, Genesis games universally are getting more expensive. Okay, why has that one become such a darling, though? You know it's related to Ernest Evans, a game that I'm pretty sure I'm the only person on the planet who liked. Oh man, I want to play Ernest Evans now. That game's awesome. Again, level transitions, they're hard. But yeah, it's like, why is El Viento so expensive? Like, Phantasy Star, okay. Musha, sure. Crusader of Senti, I get it. Why El Viento? There's just a bunch of weirdly expensive Genesis games that make no sense for their price. And I don't think they were like low print or anything. I don't think they were particularly desirable. I don't think they had a huge fandom or anything. I think they might be niche titles, but I don't think they're cult games by any means of measure. I don't get it. And Dynamite Heady is still only $20. Very affordable. Get the Japanese version, that's actually probably more expensive. I think a lot like Streets of Rage 3, get the Japanese version, it's just substantially better. Also Contra Hardcore, get the Japanese version, it's just better. That said, I've got the English version. If I'm going to do another one of these like Genesis First Impressions videos, I do have both Bloodlines and Hardcore, so I could do a Konami double billing or something. That'd be kind of fun. Haha, I've got more health now. Don't you feel silly? Kind of like these claw guys. There's a really terrible game that had some really cool sprite art called Fighting Masters on the Genesis, I kind of want to get. I've been told it's one of like the worst fighting games ever. I mean, from what I've seen, I believe it. I'm thinking this is the guy with the foot we fetishized a little while ago. You know, it's weird that this giant guy is trying to fight our one little tiny guy. It'd be nice if we could just be a Megazord and fight him. Oh wait, we can. It's weird that our character can be a Megazord and fight this guy, but chooses not to. I think we're supposed to attack his hands, but I'm just not getting any hitboxes on him. I'm not hitting him, anyway. Certainly he attacks on the lowest chunk of this stage. I don't think I'm supposed to get grabbed by him. Insert grabbed by the Ghoulies reference, the game that Rare keeps insisting is good, and I disagree with. And I think a lot of people do. Although I think it's gotten a bit of a following over the past years. I just remember seeing them reference it in like all their games, including that terrible Banjo Nuts and Bolts. But they won't reference It's Mr. Pants, which is a shame because that game was actually kind of good. I feel like puzzle stuff anyway. Okay, not sure how that happened, but programming is hard. Okay, I know I'm supposed to attack you. There we go. It only took 1 life, but there's 1 damage. Okay. Come on. Oh. You can kind of get a feel for which direction he's going to go by watching his background animation. Like, you can see the shoulder exposed, which one he's going to grab you, but it's not a huge amount of time to tell you. You kind of just have to guess and hope. It's not unlike that one jump in that Flintstones game we played like an hour ago. Which sucks, because that game was great up till that point. It was hard, but it was fair. Okay, I'm not sure how that hurt you, but okay. And I want to reiterate, this is not a great game, but it is a game that I kind of like. But I'm also the guy who likes Ernest Evans. And Death Duel. But I will swear by Death Duel being a genuinely legit game. Although I like Ernest Evans as well. I'd say it's a legit game. It's just really janky, and I think people can't get past that and like to make fun of it without really ever acknowledging it as an actual game. Which is a shame, because Ernest Evans is quite a good game. Even if it is tailored to be very, very difficult. And a little buggy. There's 2 levels that can be beaten just by holding left at the start. Because they were programmed kind of weird. One just drops you right on the end point. And the other is just, no, you climb a wall that's straight to your left and you win. Because it's designed to scroll indefinitely. Or not indefinitely, but like... The screen is designed to wrap vertically, but the end point is at the bottom of the loop, so if you just hold left and climb the wall, you get taken to basically the negative state of a wall, which, of course, makes you the lowest negative value. Or the lowest, on an XY axis, a negative value, which of course means that you win. And then it drops into a weird fight, because that game is a little strange, but I quite like that game. That game, I would say, is one of my favorite Genesis games. And I might be the only person who can legitimately say that. So again, We can Megazord. I don't know why we decided to not do that before. I'm not sure what the buttons are, though. Okay, so that's block and there's jump. Pretty simple control scheme. Attack, block, jump, go. It kind of looks a little bit like Ernest Evans, with like all the parts seemingly being individual sprites, but it's animated a lot better and a lot smoother. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of those Ultraman games, except not terrible. Like, it's not good, but those Ultraman games are abysmal. At least the Super Nintendo ones are. The SD ones are actually pretty good from what I remember. And of course, it's a great battle games, too, which are awesome. Which reminds me, I haven't talked about a great battle game in a while. I should do that. Alright. I love this character design for my character. Like, if I could get... I said this before, but if I can get a statue of him, I totally would. But there seems to be basically no merchandise or anything for Mazen Saga. Like, I think it was like a three-volume comic, and then they just sort of stopped, because I guess it wasn't popular. Which is weird, because combining Devilman with, you know, Mazinger Z seems like a slam dunk. If you're a fan of Go Nagai, anyway. Like, I can't point to any one thing he's made that I particularly care for, but, you know, I don't think he's bad or anything. And I've heard good things about Devilman. I really ought to actually, like, interact with Devilman on some capacity. Because I've heard good things. Like, I've heard the Netflix series that came out, like, 10 years ago is quite good. There we go. But yeah, I just quite like this character's design, but there's, like, no merch of it. Which is sad, because it's really cool. This is the only game, as far as I know, that's tied to Mazen Saga. Versus Slughead in India. Okie doke. Again, not sure why we're just not Megazording the entire time, but for some reason we like to only grow giant when we need to, you know, finally finish off the boss. Until then, we get stepped on them all the time. Again, I'm guessing that our Mazinger Z Devilman combo might be some kind of fetishist who enjoys that sort of thing. Which, you know, if that's your thing, all the more power to you, but doesn't make a lot of sense from a combat perspective. If you've got the ability to turn to the big giant thing to kill the thing at the end, why not do that as your first move? Why does Ultraman just not finish every fight at the start with the, what is it, Spatium Beam or whatever? You know, his instant kill move? Like, it just makes more sense to start with your instant kill move. Because then that ends the fight, but then there's no tension. So narratively, I get it, but logically, it makes zero sense. Transitions are hard! Also, why is it freezing in India? Is Slughead some kind of ice elemental? Like, I've never been to India, but I'm of the understanding it's not a cold place. Ow. I do like that we have, like, the downward stab from Zelda 2. Downward stab! Unfortunately, this is a beat-em-up that requires some degree of precision with how you're lined up with your opponent, so that's no good. We do have a super move that allows us to hit everything, but of course, it drains your health. I've never been a fan of that. I don't like super attacks and beat-em-ups that drain your health. They just constantly reinforce that I should never use them. I've always been more a fan of, you know, it being like a limited resource or something you get to earn, like in Ninja Warriors, where you, in theory, have unlimited special attacks. It's just you have to spend time not attacking to use them. Or rather, you have to spend time not getting knocked down to use them. That's it. It's been a while since I played that, and that's one of my favorite beat-em-ups, even though it's not that great. The remake, I have opinions about. Like, it's good, but I don't like how they animated my favorite character, so he's just a character I don't want to interact with anymore, which sucks. They over-animated him, so he looks like he has no substance to him. Yeah, this looks vaguely close to what I would associate with India, I guess. Maybe not the fact it's a tomb, but it at least looks mildly less like it's covered in ice and snow. Grab that health. I should grab that later. Again, I like these claw guys. These guys are kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. That guy's not on this bike anymore. That'll at least make it easier to lift. Oh, okay, that guy's on his bike now. Alright. Nope. Nope, no luck with the downward stabbity stabs. There we go. Timing. It's everything. I will say this pillar's a little annoying. It's right where I don't want something to be, which is exactly why it's there. Right. Okay. Flamethrower guys, because it's too cold here in India where it's snowing all the time for reasons. We need flamethrowers to keep us all warm. That just makes sense. Alright. More points. Okay. I'm willing to take that death. I have plenty of lives. That looks like a special attack from, I don't know, Golden Axe, maybe? Is Golden Axe the one that had the big flamey wheel? Might have been. I like that my special ability does not give me invulnerability. That's fair. Why would you want invulnerability during your special attack? Okay. I almost died there. I'm glad I didn't. So, what is this slug head, and why is it turning India to ice somehow? It's a xenomorph with a flail that has a lot more range than me. That's a problem. You're not allowed to have more range than me. You're suddenly that one jerk from Rise of the Robots who should be weaker than most characters, but you have range of half the stage, so nothing can hit you, so you're objectively the worst thing in the game. At some point, I really do need to talk about the sequel, Rise of the Robots God. That's a weird game. I've never played it, but I know how it is. That they, like, made triple recolors of every character in the game, and they, like, doubled the roster of base characters. So if you want to get through the story where you have to fight every single character, you end up having to fight, like, 50 characters. And it's just as dumb as it always was. The only real advantage Rise of the Robots 2 had is you could play as any character, which is kind of nice, I guess. But that thing desecrated the Sega Saturn with its presence. That's a sad thought. I think it was also on the PlayStation 1. The weird thing is, like the original, it also had, like, weird detractors depending on which version you played. Like, some versions, the backgrounds wouldn't animate, others would have, like, weird hazards that would just kill you out of nowhere. Like, where the first one had no music in some versions, no animation in some others. The whole series of there was just a giant mess. And that was a series that was designed to sell merchandise before anything else. I guess we're in Paris, which is now a desert, because that looks like the Eiffel Tower. I guess. Whee! Yeah, I like this game. Like, it's not a great game, but I kind of love it. I think that's me in general is... There's the Arc de Triomphe. You know, looking at my taste in Genesis games, the fact that I'm such a big fan of Death Duel and Ernest Evans, I would say that my taste definitely skews weird for the Genesis. But I'm also the guy who doesn't think Sonic 2 is all that good a game. Like, I think it's overrated. Like, it's good, but it's not that good, you know? Like, I see so many small things about it that just tell me the level design just isn't there. Like, how there's that one pit you can just fall into and you have to wait to die. Like, especially if you're Supersonic, you're just stuck there. Because you can't jump out in any way. Or how there's, like... After, like, a long speed area, they'll just put, like, a a spring pointing backwards, so you have to redo the entire area. Like, I don't see how people can just let that slide and consider that the best game on the system. Like, I find that so weird. I think Sonic 3 is a much better Sonic game than Sonic 2 ever was. But, I don't know, I think my taste for the Genesis kind of skews to the weird a little bit. Although I do like stuff like Shining Force and stuff. Those are some of my favorite games as well, so who knows. I'm not going to get a health refill, am I? Oh, I am, but we're going to... Okay, auto-scroll. Oh, God. Maybe that's the thing that tried to stomp on us earlier. Oh. Okay. So it looks like we do get an instant life there if we screw this up, which is nice. What? Okay. So I run, grab the life because I'm no fool. Run and jump. And then you have to run to make this jump. Okay. That's intense. I don't know why this dinosaur is both hindering and helping us. Like, clearly he's our enemy, but why is he giving us a platform to run on? Like, thank you, random dinosaur. But why? But thank you. But aren't you trying to kill me? Why not just let me drop into the pit? Or eat me. I'm right at face level right now. Jump. Okay. Okay. Jump. 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 Oh, I jumped way too soon there, but we made it. Good, 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 good. Woo! Alright. So are we fighting Suddenly Dinosaur? Nope. No. No, it was just there to play with us, I guess. Okay. In the desert that is Paris for some reason. Get out of my way. Don't you see the giant skeleton dinosaur that was trying to eat me a second ago? Woo! Alright. We actually went out of that with more lives than we started. We started with 4 lives. Now we got 5. That's a nice feeling. I'm not sure what that blue light is. I'm thinking it's a free super, but I'm not sure. Probably hold on to it until more enemies show up. Oh, it's invulnerability. Right on. Thought I saved that. I was thinking, though, like, you know, if this is where the chunk of stage ends and then we jump into space because transitions are hard, you know, I would have wasted whatever that was. That foot isn't a dinosaur. I feel cheated. Also, again, might be a foot fetishist. Because we're not Megazording to punch that thing in the face. We're going to sit here and stab at its feet for a while. Okay, so, query. Why does the dinosaur have human feet, but the human thing from the first stage that was also a skeleton have dinosaur feet? Also, why do you get to do that? Also, I like the sort of... The use of the parallax scrolling on both the foreground, background, and main stage kind of creates a faux 3D effect. I like that. I remember seeing a game, I swear was on the Genesis, that was like a fighting game that had 3D effects. Like, if an enemy hit you hard enough, the entire screen would rotate. I think Killer Instinct did that as well, but I can't think of what that game was. And I think someone commented about what game I was thinking of at one point, and I can't remember what it was. It might have been an arcade game, but it was such a... I remember seeing it and thinking that was such a cool looking game and I'd love to play it, and I've never had the chance. I don't like that dash attack. Still a better fighting game slash platformer than Heavy Nova. Because that game is just the worst thing that's ever existed. Uh-oh. I don't think he dashes at you if you're the one in the corner, but if he's in the corner, he'll do it. Because I think he's sort of programmed to try and dash through you. Well, that proves me wrong. How am I still alive? I thought I was dead. Okay. Okay. Well, squatting in the corner seems to be the beat the game button for this guy, so we're using Dark Link strategies. He's gonna sit in the corner and stab. Zelda 2 would be proud. You sort of belly full up there, did you? That's not even like a jump kick. You don't seem to have any active damage when you do that. I'm not sure why he's doing that. But it doesn't seem to be a neutral jump either. Like, there seems to be some element of attack to it. But it seems to be very limited to when he's in the middle of his jump. Like, it seems almost like a grab or something, but aside from when he's directly in the middle of that jump, it seems like he's got nothing else of an actual attack there. It's weird. And that's how we saved the world from the return of Ganon. Even though Ganon wasn't even in that game and it was really just Link fighting his own shadow that one time. I really like this animation. It's the title screen as well as every single transition. So we're in New York this time. How New York-y is it going to be? Never been, but from what I've seen, this looks pretty accurate to New York. Or Detroit, one of the two. They're both basically third world cities. I find Detroit to be a completely weird anomaly. Like, how is it there's a city in the United States, a country that considers itself like the best of everything, and yet they have a city that is basically a post-apocalyptic wasteland of a third, you know, person world, third world state, whatever. I'm sick, leave me alone. Like, I just don't understand how America can allow Detroit to be Detroit. You know, it just baffles me that that exists in the state it does. And America seems to be fine with it. Alright. So basically, this is where it's covered in mold and sadness, which sounds like most places in the States I've been. But it looks like Mothra's evil, shittier cousin took over, because there's all sorts of moths here. And something called a Buster Claw that's the final boss, I guess, for this area. Transitions are hard! Oh, now we're in a level from Illusion of Gaia. Nice. Probably the most forgettable level in Illusion of Gaia. Primarily because it sucks to remember it. Because it's a big, awful maze. And it's one of the few parts of Illusion of Gaia I care not to think about. Although it is pretty, the giant mushroom forest. That's about the one thing it's got going for it, though. I want to play Illusion of Gaia now. That game is great. Okay, well I didn't die. Or maybe I did, because I didn't take damage. Let's not fall off the pit and figure out if we lose a life. I think I did, because I only have 2 lives left. And I don't know what this game's continue policy is, so... let's, be a little careful about all this. Transitions are hard! Oh, now we're on a train, I guess. Now we're on a level from Undercover Cops, I believe. At a level kinda like this. In that there was train tracks, and that's about all I remember from it. I haven't thought about Undercover Cops in a while. That's a neat little beat-em-up. I could never really get the handle of it, though. I'm guessing that thing chasing us is Buster Claw. I guess. I don't know. It seemed like the dinosaur was chasing us in the first stage, but the dinosaur's the one that has the human feet, but the human had the dinosaur feet, and I don't get why. Also, I don't need to run. I can just walk at a brisk pace. This is my standard walking speed, and I can outspeed you. What am I looking at here? Okay, are you above me? I think you are. Okay, so I see a shadow, so yeah, now I at least have perspective on where you are so I can hit you. Because this is definitely a game that really requires you to understand the Z-axis in regards to where stuff is relative to you. Which actually makes it really awkward to find out where stuff is, like, a shadow says is, like, in the closest foreground. This boss is a little bit awkward, but it's mainly just because figuring out distance is a little awkward when that shadow is basically just taught to you by dithering. Okay. So you've got that tail. That sucks. I wonder if Zelda 2 strats are the way to go here. Let's try. So we're gonna basically do anti-Rise of the Robot strats. Okay, you've got range over me there, so that's not gonna work. I think I just have to be kind of hyper-aggressive to get to you. Ow. I'm getting weird flashbacks to this game I have called, what's it called? Excalibur 2092 or something like that. It was on the Super Nintendo. It was this really... It was a game that could have been really great, but it had some, like, really shitty features to it. Like, the first boss you run into has more range than you and has an infinite perfect guard. So he can block every attack you send his way. And he can attack you well beyond your own hit rate, or your range. I might not be able to beat this guy. But, it's like, if you could get past that fight, the game was actually, like, it wasn't a great game, but it was okay. Like, I kind of like it, if you can get past that part. But that boss is very, very stupidly made. Like, I'm not against an enemy having more range than you. If there's a way to work around that. Like, I can kind of work around this enemy if I jump, because his tail can't hit things in the air. Like, I can work with that. Unfortunately, this game seems to have a perfect counter system, so... Or this guy does, anyway. But when you have a character that has a perfect guard, that seems to read your inputs, and can attack you well beyond your own means, that's just more than a wee bit dickish. And I wouldn't recommend a game like that. Which sucks, because otherwise the game looks great, it plays great. It would be one of those, like, really good, sort of B-rated, sort of, Super Nintendo games. But it's like, yeah, but there's a character that basically makes it impossible to play. I don't seem to have any charge attacks or anything. I've got a block, but unless I have some sort of grapple where I can grab his tail, there's not much I can do with it. It's literally just swing my sword, jump, and block. And unless I can get, like, a counter stance going, and he can go through my block. Okay. I have an idea. Okay. I think this guy's just programmed a bit too aggressively. Make this guy a particularly fair fight. I think it's going to be luck if I can get this guy. We'll see. Welcome to how I play every fighting game ever because I can't do, like, intense button combos. Pick a character with high agility, jump in, attack, jump out. Jump kick is my ultimate special attack. That's why I normally, like, default to female characters in fighting games. I tend to prefer and value agility over anything else. Because I can't do specials, so jump kick's kind of all I got for my special bag of tricks. I've heard the new Street Fighter has, like, simplified controls, so I might actually be able to play that one. If it goes on sale for a price I can afford, maybe someday I'll buy it. Find out. I know that, Blaze Blue, that was the game that really got me into fighting games because it had a beginner mode where you could just hold down buttons to do your specials. And that was nice because it meant that I actually was on sort of a vague, similar playing field to the CPU. I couldn't use that versus anyone because I guess people thought that was unfair, that everyone should have access to, like, every character's abilities. But, and I find that quizzical. But, you know, it was nice that I could at least kind of enjoy a fighting game. And I play single player anyway, so it doesn't matter that much to me. But, you know. Also, apparently I've run out of space on my hard drive, so I guess if I'm putting this up on my YouTube channel, it'll be the archive stream version. I didn't think it would take that much space, though, because Genesis recordings tend to not be very big. But we have been going for about 2.5 hours. And because of that, we probably won't be doing any N64 multi-cart stuff tonight. But like I said, I'm still just sort of recovering from being sick, so I guess that's fine. Okay. Whoop. I don't know how I survived that, Buster Claw, but I'll take it. You've given me this chance to kill you. I'm not gonna let it go to waste. Although I am still gonna die. Beautiful sprite work, though. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, there's a continue system. What does the continue system look like here? Oh, we're back at Booter Claw. Alright. Okay, so, as established, jumping... The jump game is how we're going to beat this guy. We don't want to be on the the outside, though. We want to be on the inside of the stage. Having him kind of pegged against a wall is kind of how we're going to... Ow. I kind of wonder what the point of the continue system is if it just puts you back here, though. Like, why not just make that an extended life system or something? Like, for me, a continue would say, okay, you're starting back at the start of the stage, i.e. the back of the platforming segments, not the boss fight. You know? Okay. If I remember correctly, this is basically how you had to win those terrible Ultraman games, too. Except this is not that. It's not great, and it could use a few more mechanics and abilities, but it's substantially better than those terrible Ultraman games. Although there were a few games that cameoed both Ultraman and the Messenger. Not this one, obviously, but... I believe Super Robot Pinball did it. Even though Ultraman is not a robot. Because he was all over that great Battle Band Presto stuff. Like, for whatever reason, Band Presto just had access to all the IPs. Which is, of course, I'm pretty sure they were, as their name would indicate, some kind of offshoot of Bandai. So they probably had quite a lot of pull. That should have hit him. I don't like you, Booter Claw. Good timing on that jump, though. Which is totally intentional and not a complete lucky jump. Okay. Yeah, I don't care much for that range combined with his aggressiveness, combined with his penchant for blocking. He's certainly a hard fight. And not necessarily one I would consider to be a particularly fair one, especially when I have such few options. It seems like he's reading my inputs, too, because if I sit there and block like this, he knows exactly when I take off my block to attack. Ow. Come on, man. Like, I've got the continues. I can go a few more rounds with you, but I don't want to have to? I assume you're not the final boss. You don't have final boss energy. Ow. I don't care for the fact that every single one of your attacks has more range than anything else I've got. Block. If I deblock, he'll attack. Like that. He seems to be able to just react the split second knowing the input. Which is a little unfair. It's like any SNK character that's controlled by a computer. We're just going to read your inputs. Nope, couldn't jump out of it. I tried to jump out of it. Couldn't, but tried to. I don't know, though. Like, this boss is dumb. Sure, but I think everything else up to this point has been a pretty fun, enjoyable little game. In fact, I think every game we've played tonight's been pretty good. Not a bad one in the bunch. Which is good, because, I mean, this is my Genesis collection. I like them to be good games. There's still about 25 more games in the collection I'd like to get. The problem is at least 10 of them, maybe 15 at this point, are sort of at that absurd $200 range. Like, I hate it, but I'll probably have to accept that I'm never going to own Crusader of Senti or Musha or, for some reason, El Viento. But there's still a few games I could get that would be really nice to have. And there's a delay between inputs, so you can't just jump while blocking. You have to release block to then jump out of the way. Also, you somehow got through my guard. Why do you have a perfect guard, but my guard seems to be pointless? Because you can just go through it. I don't like you, Buster Claw. Nice God rays in the background, though. Like, I could stand for it to be a little bit more colorful, because sort of bland green on cold gray isn't that interesting to look at. And you kind of don't even see the fact that the Statue of Liberty is back there, because it has the exact same color scheme as everything else. But, you know, other than that, I think it's kind of a nice stage. It's got like a nice sort of hazy mist on the ground that actually only covers a small bit of your character, like your ankles below. That's pretty cool. There's some nice visuals in this game. And some really fun gameplay. Up to this stupid fight, anyway. But yeah, I think this is kind of... This is an Ultraman on the Super Nintendo kind of fight. It's stupid and bad. On the bright side, we don't have to wait for it to get 0 health to use a special attack in order to kill it. And if we don't do it within 5 seconds, it heals, so that you have to do it again. There are advantages to not being Ultraman on the Super Nintendo, is what I'm saying. Mainly all of them, because that game was god-awful. But, yeah. Yeah, this game looks good. It plays pretty good up to this fight, anyway. This fight is stupid. I don't have any sort of charge attacks. As far as I can tell, I don't have any sort of specials. I'm just jumping in and out and fighting Booterclaw here. This kind of reminds me of a fight from Heavy Nova, in the sense it's stupidly programmed. Except that was a game where if you ducked or jumped, you were completely invulnerable. But that was also a game where you could have been disabled, left on the ground, picked up, dropped down, picked up, dropped down, picked up, dropped down, and then you died. And that was the entirety of the fight. Because that game was really badly programmed. I have beaten that game to get the perfect ending. I will never do it again, I don't think. I might play it again for Halloween because that game's so awful, but I have no interest in ever trying to get the best ending to that game again. So it requires you to beat it without dying. And that is a tall order when the game is designed to cheat. The other really scary thing, that game also got a sequel, like Rise of the Robots. And I can't fathom that. Like, I know I'm gonna have to talk about it at some point. I'm genuinely scared to. Because I can't fathom a sequel to the worst game ever. I don't know how I dodged that, but I'll take it. Alright. Nope, not getting out of that one. Need to get him into a sort of an offensive stance. Because if he starts blocking, I'm screwed. Oh! Okay. How do you get to block while jumping? I don't think I get to. Let's find out. Oh, yeah, I kind of can. I just have to wait a small delay to make it happen. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't think you have to deal with that delay, which is a little unfair, perhaps, but, you know, at least... Okay. I think this is our best chance at actually beating this guy. So, I'm hoping we can do it. Okay, the problem is, if I don't get to have the full jump distance, it completely messes with my inputs. Wow, he just swatted me out of the sky. Okay. Okay, Buster Claw. You get that win. I'm not happy about it, but I'll give you that. You earned that. Okay. Let's try again. Ow. Whoop. No blocking. You're not allowed. I don't know how this guy has a perfect block but can be so aggressively programmed. He's literally an SNK boss. Ow. But we can establish he's not one of the giant feet that tried to crush us earlier. He has no feet. He's just a wormle. Okay, well, we're actually making progress. We're not in dire straits just yet. Oh, that's not good. You see him block while I'm in the air, that's a problem. Because that means he's probably gonna hit me when I land. So I can kind of block, but it usually takes a second. And I'm not sure what happened there. I should have been able to hit him, but I didn't. I'm not sure why he didn't block there, but... Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop. No, can't jump away. I just have to sit there, wait for him to unblock, so that I can just take damage, because that's just how life's gonna be. Okay. Ow. Yeah, it seems like if he cuts off your full jump, you don't get to have an attack. And he can just swat you out of the sky when he does that. So you really do need like the full jump distance to actually get him. Ow. It's weird that some of his attacks seem to be blockable, but some of them seem to be able to go through your block. Like, I can get why his tail attack... Hit me. There we go, thank you. I get why his tail attack would go through a neutral block, because it goes under what you're blocking. Okay. So why does your standard attack go through my block, period? But only sometimes. I'm impressed with how varied this game is, though. And it doesn't seem low quality. I feel like this boss is badly programmed, but other than that, I don't really have anything to complain about in this game. That said, this is a dumb boss. Also, you do a lot more damage than I do to you, and that's not fair. And I can't be hyper-aggressive with you because all your attacks seem to have priority over everything, it seems. Not to mention range. Ow. Not to mention you can read my inputs, which is never a good sign. Okay. Yeah, you got range over me. It's nice when he, like, smacks you out of the way. Because if he smacks you back while you block, you can actually do something about it. Everything else about this game feels like it's just a straight-up trap, though, because I can... He will guard forever. I will guard forever. Nothing will change. I take you down my guard, I won't be able to jump away because there's a delay. And he'll just hit me, because he can read my inputs. Ow. This is not what I would call a good fight. This is a fight I would call a total whiff. Please kill me. It's going to be one of those things where if you just neutrally walk up to him, he doesn't do anything to you because he's not programmed to do it. There was a Gundam game on the Saturn. In fact, there was 3 Gundam games on the Saturn because they were all programmed the same. Where it was designed so that like the bosses were supposed to be like high impact, like high speed fights. And if you just played super lazily in that you never used any of like your speed up buttons or like any of your aggressive stuff, so you just sort of neutrally sort of slowly amble around, the boss doesn't understand what's going on, so they just like they think you're actively open for attack, so they'll charge you, and then you can just punch them in the face until they die. It was a very weird thing to do, and someone at one point actually contacted me because I guess they were speedrunning the game and they wanted to see like how I did that. This is like, it's not complicated. The game doesn't expect you to play neutrally with no effort or, you know, adrenaline in the fight. So if you just play with zero, you know, stakes and you make it as low impact a fight as possible, the boss just doesn't understand that and will run into every single one of your attacks, and it's bizarrely hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna drop my guard and I'll get hit. Yep. Be nice if I got like a ranged attack of some description. If I have one, I'm not familiar with how to do it though. Okay. If he blocks while I land, I'm basically screwed. Yeah. Because I can try and block while I land, but he'll just block until I drop my guard. Or he'll smack me. I don't understand how this guy was programmed in order to be fought properly. Because either I'm missing a move that gives me a lot more range that I'm not familiar with, or this guy's just really awkwardly programmed. Yep. Like, I've wasted 2 continues on this guy alone. Up to this point, I haven't really died. This guy's cost me 2 continues. If I had a healing move, so I could at least prolong this fight, I could beat him. If I had a ranged attack, I could probably beat him. But as it stands, this guy's just got more range, more damage. He can read my inputs. He can block indefinitely. This is just a definition of a bad fight. Yep, you're gonna counter me with that tail again. The sad thing is, I like this game up to this point. This fight's kind of souring my opinion of it though, which sucks. If there was a dodge button or like a way to sidestep stuff or something, a counter, anything, any way to make this fight actually like fair. Like if he jumps, you can kind of swat him out of the sky. That's good. The problem is, for the most part, he's got an unlimited block and a lot more range than you, and he's aggressive, and he gets priority. I think I understand why we're losing this guy so badly. We beat the other guys because they had feet we could attack. It wasn't just a fetish thing, it was actively, we attacked their Achilles heel so that they were easy to beat in giant mode. But now that we fought a guy without feet, well, we can't weaken them. So their fight is impossible. That's the logic we're working on right now, I guess. Also, I don't know what that hitbox was, but I'll take that hit. Okay, come on. Don't block. Oh, you blocked. Like, it seems to have a very rudimentary programming style. Like, I can see when he's going to block ahead of time. But the problem is, once he starts blocking, there's not really anything I can do about it until he stops. And he's only going to stop when he can actively attack me. Yeah, like that. Not sure why that hit me. Okay, well, there. At least I can swat you out of the air when you jump. Sometimes when the hitboxes want to be nice to me. Alright. Ow. Okay, I'm not sure why the hitboxes did that. That was definitely not in my favor, but I'll take it. Whoa, okay. No blocking. Okay, if I can get him into that crouch stance, I think I've got his, at least a bit of a programming quirk figured out. If he's in that crouch stance, he'll attack, which I can then use to smack him. Doesn't seem like he wants to, well, I say that. I was gonna say, Doesn't seem like he wants to actively try and pursue me, which is good, because we don't want him to. Okay, well. Yeah, because when he crouches, it seems like he goes for a low attack, as opposed to going to a neutral defense, which is good, because that's what we want. Because that means we can hit him. Oh, because when he blocks, we're definitely going to get hit. Oh. If he goes for a low attack like that, though, I seem to be able to kind of dodge it. What? Block? You know, I say I figured out his programming quirks, but, like, now he's mixing it up, so who knows? Maybe it's the non-SEGA effect, I guess. I don't like you, Booterclaw. I have wasted, what, at this point, 3 continues on you? This one fight. This one fight has been 3 continues. Alright, fine. At this point, it's just stubbornness. Like, I'm enjoying this game. I don't want it to end on a stupid fight like this. Just let me beat you. Stupid slug thing. Why was the other thing called Slug Face when this is the thing that's a slug? Remember when I punched you in the eye a whole bunch about half an hour ago? I like that. Can we go back to that? Also, how are you able to see me if I punched you in the eye a whole bunch half an hour ago? I guess he took some kind of Visine for that. Whoa! Nope. Okay. No blocking. You blocked, whoop, but you low attacked, so I can actually jump that. Ow. Quit it. Freaking zoners. Be less offended if I had anything I could do to counter this. Or there was some sort of gap in his strategy or his abilities, but there isn't. It's just this guy is flat out better than you in every conceivable way. And he can read your inputs. And he has priority. So good luck. Basically, it's get really lucky and hope the AI takes pity on you so you can get past this fight. Which sucks. Because like I said, I'm actually enjoying this fight. Or this fight. I'm enjoying this game up to this fight. I hate this fight. Hate everything about it. I just want to die now. There we go. But it was nice I got some extra damage on him. It'd be kind of nice if, like, the damage they took persisted between lives. I guess that'd be a little unfair, but, I mean, what about this fight is fair? The only advantage I have against you is that I only have to beat you once. You have to beat me a total of, like, 20 times. Which you are very much on your way to doing. But you just have to screw up once. It's the Superman fallacy. You have to win every single time, I just have to win once. Whoa. Okay, I attacked there. Not sure why it didn't go. Maybe it's because you get priority over everything. I do not like this guy. Ow. Okay, again, I attacked there too, but it didn't seem to let me actually go. I wonder if there's some sort of, like, just the smallest bit of lag that's delaying my attacks even further. Like, there's a small delay between inputs in everything in this mode, but there's something that's genuinely just eating my inputs for attack now, which I'm not sure what that is. Ow. Ow. Come on, man. You've had your fun. You've beat me a few times. Now just let me go. I get it. You're designed to be functionally better than the player in every single way. You don't need to show off about it. Although I do get to see my lovely sprite in some fantastic poses as I die. Okay. Okay. Oh, now you're getting jumpy, are you? The hitbox when he jumps is really weird. Cause like, I'll jump and be behind him and still get hit. And I'll just outright miss them for some reason. Like, that time it didn't work, but for the most part, when I'm behind them, somehow their jump attack still hits me. That's because they're a big, angry worm thing, and I hate them. And they need to die. Ow. Okay, that's fair. That sprite connected. I can believe this. Actually hit me. Same with that. Works for me. Okay, now I'm just getting angry and tilting. Just use your tail, buddy. It's not complicated. Or any other attack, really. You've got priority and range on me. Okay. So tilting and just duck attacking seems to be my go-to victory here. Maybe. I don't know why duck attacking was so successful there for a little bit. It's not anymore, it seems. Huh. Okay. Okay. Do I have your number? I might have your number. You can't handle being knocked down and then duck attacked. Okay. That's dumb, but... This is how it's gonna end, is it? Works for me. That only took half an hour. And most of my continues. I don't even care anymore. Versus negative messenger in Egypt. Egypt, rather. Alright, so we're in Egypt. Egypt looks like chemical plant for some reason. Or casino night, one of those two. But none of these areas actually seem to look like these areas. To be fair, I'm pretty sure Devilman Messenger took place in, like, dystopian future, so... I guess all of these things could be what these places look like in dystopian future. I'm pretty sure they don't build cities around the pyramids, though. I'm pretty sure those are surrounded by barren desert. I'm hardly an expert on Egypt, but... I'm pretty sure they don't just build cities integrated into the pyramids. The fact that we're up against another Messenger tells me this is probably the last level, though. Because, what's a series finale without fighting your evil clone? It's either a finale or very damn near close. That fight was stupid. I'm so angry about that fight. Like, everything else to this... Like, I'm off my game now, because I'm so used to that one fight that everything else is just so foreign feeling to me. But, like, that one fight was just so bad. Ow. Ow. Fair enough. There we go. You die. What's the weird piece of paper on the wall over there? Or is that a mirror? Is someone looking at me through a two-way mirror? Is the negative messenger over there? I really like the animation of this game. Like, seriously, that one fight is the total of negative things I've experienced with this game so far. And to be fair, that's a pretty big negative. But, I think it's a pretty fun game up to this point. Also, the lack of cohesion between transitions, I guess. So now we're in a level from Ninja Gaiden. And I guess we've got the moth spawns over here too. Even though we're not seeing any like gross cocoons or mold in the background like in New York. I guess that's just New York for you. Huh. There's something about that moth that looks familiar though, like the scaly green carapace with like the red orbs on it. I'm trying to think what that is. Like I want to say it's almost a Makamura enemy. or a boss. Yeah, I think it's from the Genesis Makaimoto, actually. Which would be the original Ghouls and Ghosts. I'm not sure if that one got a North American release. It might have. Although I think at the time I was only really familiar with Super Ghouls and Ghosts and the original Ghosts and Goblins. I'm not sure the Mega Drive one ever came to North America. Good, though. I feel like this background with the, like, static TV should have something on it, you know? Like, how Vector Man had something like that, too, and you saw the final boss hanging out on there. Although that final boss was everywhere in Vector Man. He was the second boss, too. Like, that was, credit to the final bosses that are always in the hero's face or whatever. They make sure they're not forgotten, and that they're a constant threat. There's a lot of random crap to collect. Oh, it's more feet to fetishize. Cool. Okay, to be fair, I deserved that. I wasn't thinking that it was actually going to move its hitbox any. It's actually, not unlike that face we had to attack, it's a little weird to figure out where the hitbox is going to be because, first of all, it doesn't cast a shadow, but second of all, it's just kind of unclear where stuff is spatially. And because we're not lined up properly, we miss every single one of those attacks. Natch. Okay, I think it's gone. Yep. Okay, now we're back in level 1 again, I guess. Except now there's fans. Because ventilation is important. Alright. Okay, flamethrower guy. I'm warning you. No more ranged attacks for you. It's not fair to me, the guy who doesn't get those. That last fight proved it's not fun when the enemy gets to do it, but I don't get to. Everyone seems to want projectile attacks nowadays. This is a beat 'em up. It's supposed to be fists only and melee weapons, I guess. If you want, you can still cheat some range with those, depending on what weapon you choose. I would suggest a polearm, like a Bardiche or something. Or a stick, if you want to be very rudimentary about things. But come on, it's a beat 'em up, no guns. There's a reason why most final bosses in beat 'em ups have guns. It's because it's stupid and cheap. And antithetical to how the beat 'em up worked at that point. And that's another reason why Final Fight is dumb. And why Streets of Rage is better. In all respects. That's the thing I liked about Streets of Rage. That is a game that exists solely... Oh, so we're fighting the first guy again, except he has Rocket Punch. Okay. You know, Streets of Rage existed solely as... basically to give the Genesis an equivalent to Final Fight, but it was better in pretty much every respect. And I love that about it. Okay, so I just gotta hop on the Knuckles. And down stab. That's not lined up with me. But if it's not lined up with me, I can't take damage from it. Again, judging depth in this game is a little weird. It's visually impressive, but you lose some of the information it's trying to convey to you. Okay, stab. Okay. So, I don't know where this hitbox is. Can we get to the part where we're throwing down? I mean, you're the anti-me. I assume you have the same moves as me. Which means it'll at least be a fairer fight than the last one. Although I imagine you'll probably still read my inputs a fair bit. Yeah, it seems like you can only hit it, like, straight down. Because if you manage to land on it, you won't do anything. But I still don't really understand why we have to fight these things on foot just to Megazord up and then fight them properly. It's not like fighting them on foot's giving us any sort of marked advantage. If anything, it's just giving them an opportunity to kill us before we actually fight them properly. It's a little weird, and it's not even for, like, narrative to ramp up the stakes and the pace or anything. It's just confusing. You know, Ultraman doesn't use his special ability as his opener attack because, you know, he can only use it during the climax. That's what makes it interesting and fun and exciting. Because until he uses it, he's actually, you know, in threat of actually taking damage and losing. I mean, he won't. He's Ultraman, obviously. Even though I remember Ultraman actually losing a few times. Okay, so I'm thinking we use Zelda 2 strats again. Although this guy's just sitting there doing nothing, so who knows? Oh, what? What's with the Hadouken sword? Can I do that? If I can, I haven't figured out how. No, you get out of the way. I want to be crammed in the corner. That way I can't be pushed back when I hit you. I don't like that move. Mainly because I'm sure I have it and I don't know how to use it. And that makes that last fight a lot more embarrassing. Fortunately, you don't have the range the enemy had. You have the same range as me. Minus that one move. Which turns this into basically me playing any fighting game ever. Where all I have is punch, kick, and jump. But, whereas everyone else has Hadoukens and all that nonsense, fatalities, all the fun things that make you want to play the game and show off. I don't get those. Yeah, so if there is a way for me to use that sword beam, it's not through just holding down buttons or using them in some sort of combination. I'm guessing there's like a directional input, which I don't know how to do, and I'm bad at them to begin with. On the bright side, we are behind in health. Okay, I'm not sure how you hit me there. We're actually not doing too bad. Okay. You're still alive, aren't you? I think we both get like a 0 health thing. So that was actually a really bloody close fight. Easier than the last one. The last one was just flat out dumb. Hey! I guess that was the final level. At least on easy mode, I guess. I didn't realize I was even playing on easy mode, but I guess that was it. Presumably there's more levels or an actual ending on normal mode, I don't know. But that was Mazen Saga Mutant Fighter. That's overall a really good game with one incredibly stupid fight, and I quite liked that. And, well, now that I played through it, I might have to review it sometime in the near future. Either way, you know, that was... Aside from that one fight, that is actually a genuinely quite good game that I don't think all that many people are all that familiar with. And it definitely seems like one of those sort of B-grade, no one knows about kind of games. But you know, again, aside from that one fight, it's genuinely quite a good game. You could use a little bit more variance in terms of enemies, I suppose. And once you've fought one giant pair of feet, you've kind of fought them all. And that one fight is incredibly dumb, but otherwise, you know, pretty good game. It looks great. Aside from that one fight, it plays pretty great, and it's pretty varied in its approach. I quite liked this. But we've been going for about 3 hours now, and like I said, I'm just sort of recovering from feeling sick. So normally in about an hour or so, we'd be doing our N64 multi-card stuff. Probably not going to be doing that tonight. We'll see how I feel in an hour. I do have some editing and stuff I should probably have gotten to over the weekend that I slept and threw up through. So that's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. Either way, I think we'll call it here for tonight. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, follow the stream to know we go live, because we try and stream as often as possible, usually 3 or 4 times a week. Should be back tomorrow with more Battle Network 4. On the bright side, I've got 3D printed Mega Man hair. Look, I'm trying to make it interesting, but even I can't care about Battle Network 4. That game is just awful. On the bright side, we are most of the way through it, if I remember correctly. There's like one more tournament after the one we're done, and that's kind of it from what I remember. So we're pretty close. It's a really short game compared to the other ones. So that's nice. Unfortunately, we still have to go through it, but, you know. We'll probably be back with more Xenogears on Friday. There's some stuff I'd like to do on Wednesday. Maybe either some more Genesis stuff. Like I said, I've got Konami cards. We could do like a double billing or something for that. That'd be pretty fun. I've also got a bunch of Steam stuff I wouldn't mind trying. Some random stuff I picked up or some demos. We'll see what happens again. But Wednesday's a bit nebulous. We'll see. You might also want to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel, see everything else I do, which is a lot of stuff. I should, in a few days, have a new review up of something I'm just editing right now, so look forward to that. It's a pretty good game. I'm pretty excited about it. And if you really want to make my day, check out the show's PayPal or Patreon. Support the show any way you can so that I can continue to do what I do to the best of my ability, which in this case is desperately try to shake the plague that is slowly killing me. Because, holy crap, this weekend was grim. It was very, very gross. But unfortunately, I'm starting to feel better, and we got to play some fun Genesis games, so, you know, it's pretty good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, Internet.